It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah! Movie Toast.
Hey, what is up, Toasties? And how's it going, Adam?
We're on episode 218. It's going fantastic. Oh,
Hell
man.
yeah.
So much news to talk about and some cool movies to review, some tag team reviews. I
Yes,
can't
sir.
wait to get into this episode with you. But how you doing, Dennis?
You know what? Not bad, not bad. The smoke is clearing here in LA after all the festivities, so hopefully can breathe deep again here soon. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Some good movie watching, like you said, went down recently. So looking forward to those reviews. But there's also, like you said, a good amount of movie news I've been looking forward to chatting with you about, as well as you fine Toasties. And I will mention, for those of you who are catching the video version or watching the live, yes, I'm sorry. There has been some technical difficulties. Could not get my freaking webcam to cooperate today. So you're getting this beautiful smiling face from, I'm guessing, a Valentine's episode years back.
Yeah. If not, you were in the mood for love, it looks like.
That's right.
Something.
That's right. And you know we love movies here, Toasties. So I suppose, without further ado, ready for some news?
Let's do that theme song.
Gather round, folks, it's time for the scoop. Tune your ears in, let's join the loop.
My ears are tuned in.
All right. So first up, a weird story here. The Office and Hot Tub Time Machine star Craig Robinson recently announced on Instagram that he's officially quitting comedy in a series of 2 videos. On the first video, he said, just want you to hear it from me. I'm quitting comedy, but not for nothing. It's been an amazing run, and y'all been amazing and wonderful, but I'm following something bigger. So, thank you so much. I love you, and stay tuned. And then in a second video, he said, big shout out to all my small business owners. And he follows up by saying, hey guys, got any advice for me while I'm trying to get my business afloat?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm very intrigued by this, because clearly there's going to be some business plan, some new business is getting laid out for us. I'm curious though. I mean, the guy's always had musical talent. Is this going to be rolled into are we bridging the gap between these things somehow, or are these just completely unrunrelated? Like,
that's what I'm not sure, because
sauce, and then I'm going to sell then I'm going to do 2
which people do.
Right.
Which is fine, but they don't quit their day job. And the weird thing is, because when he does go on tour and whatnot, as a comedy stand-up, which I've seen twice or so, it's music-based. But the fact that he's saying, I'm quitting comedy and not quitting acting seems a little weird to me.
Yeah.
When he's primarily known as a comedy actor.
Which is funny, because I feel like I come across some of those people who are like, oh yeah, I love the Office. Wait a minute. Daryl's a comedian? I'm like, well, yeah,
right.
Actually, that's how he got there in the first place. But it's funny where it's the introduction, and like you said, it's a Hot Tub Time Machine. Introduction for a lot of people is just his acting career,
right?
And then
he's done so much more too.
Oh yeah,
and
totally.
It's like, I hope we'll find out soon what's going on with the businesses and whatnot. Like he's gonna be doing a bunch of press junkets over the next few weeks, because he has The Bad Guys 2 coming out, which he has a voice in. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more peek behind the scenes on that.
I hope it's a super classy sweat towel. I would like a really plush Craig Robinson sweat towel. That would be cool.
That's a smart move. He's known for his sweat towels, even though nowadays he's slimmed down a whole lot. So it's like, does he still need them? People still sweat when they're skinny.
I was about to say, I'd say that was always been my problem. Even at my thinnest, I just sweat like a freaking, I don't know, a sweaty person. So I'd still appreciate it. Hopefully,
right.
But best of luck, Craig. I know you're watching right now, so we look forward to your business venture.
Right. All right. Up next, I have a little bit of streaming news, some TV. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is getting a spin-off series. The original movie's producer's nephew, Paul Zentes, was recently on the CK Cafe podcast, and he said, just now I've signed an agreement with Ken Kesey, widow, to develop a TV series which will make through the point of view of the chief from the first season. Following the first season, we'll see what happens to the chief after he escapes from the psychiatry hospital. And it's like, okay.
Okay.
And I gotta apologize. I'm reading quotes here, and I shouldn't because I suck at reading. I'm illiterate as hell. Sorry, people.
It's a random little tidbit about this movie. It was the original film was filmed in Oregon. My grandfather was the warden of the Oregon State Penitentiary System at the time, so the production, he actually got to talk to the production company while they were organizing the filming of those scenes, and the state psychiatric ward in the city of Salem, Oregon, where they did that entrance scene when he walks in first getting checked in, and he's like deliberately being all crazy. That is the actual entryway to it was on, God, correct me if I'm wrong, those who know the areas at Market Street or Capitol. That and he's like he got to see Jack Nicholson, and
nice,
a little bit of the production going on, but he was a busy guy, so
that's exciting though.
Just knew it occurred, and he had to talk to him at one point, and for them to get permission. But yeah,
nice.
Salem is not that close to the coast, by the way. It is not. I'm not gonna lie. 20-minute drive to the boat.
I mean, everything's quick in movies, man. Reality, fuck no. Now, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Never read the book, never saw the movie. How do you feel about this? It sounds like you've seen the movie. Would this be interesting?
I thoroughly enjoy the movie, but I don't know. It's one of those the capsule that is the film. Kind of, it's impressive and heartbreaking at the same time, and I'm worried you're gonna slowly lose that feeling. What was that? What's his name that did American Horror Story? He had that series that was very much. It was constantly compared to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Because it's Ratchet. It's the
Ratchet series.
It's literally it's literally the lead up to what am I saying? So the series Ratchet. Like I feel like we've kind of done it a little bit. So
I guess the different change in perspective I suppose.
Yes. And something that's less like fantastical in presentation than Ratchet was, a little more grounded, and because the movie doesn't have any of that other than when it's trying to represent Jack Nicholson's feigning of his mental state versus him meeting the people who really need to be there. And I'd highly recommend watching it now. It is. I remember
you think it holds up?
Film. I from what I recall, I think I need to give it a watch again. But the last several times I've seen it, I've just kept coming back with a stronger response to not only the performances but just the writing and the tone of the film itself. And
nice.
I think it is kind of an American classic. And
now I know they spoofed it a million times. Didn't they spoof it on Sunny or something like
that's
that?
The episode of Sunny is great. The last the music you hear at the end is the music that was kind of more or less used in the film, and
because that's how Danny DeVito in it or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
He plays one of the what is it? He's eating checkers or something in a scene. Like there's several known actors at the time who play some of the patients. That Chief. I'm like, that's like, I guess that is what they called him. It's not
now. Is that the Jack Nicholson character?
Chief? No, it's a very large, tall Native American man that he just doesn't learn his name. He just doesn't talk. Hey, Chief, why don't you? And he just it's so totally wrong. Like he's just
the character doesn't talk at all, or.
I don't think he speaks till the
end.
That
could be an interesting premise for a show, I think. Like maybe his point of view and whatnot, and seeing him just take in the world around him.
Without spoiling the end, because you said this takes place after.
Yeah. That's where it's going to end up. Yeah.
There's definitely things that happen at the end of the film. I'm very curious how it would impact him on a personal level. Maybe that's enough to inspire him to start speaking again, or maybe he's just genuinely mute. I don't recall. Then again, that could be a reference from the book that I've never read the book. So
fair enough.
I highly recommend the film, and that's an intriguing setup for a series.
Hey, you know what? I'll take your advice. Maybe I'll check it out if it's streaming somewhere. And if the show happens, definitely worth checking out. It sounds like.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're sticking to the realm of TV series and movies colliding. On episode 217, we announced that Mel Brooks is coming back to do Spaceballs 2, but even hotter news is he's bringing back the young Frankenstein character, and the folks behind What We Do in the Shadows are producing a younger Frankenstein show based at FX, and one of the producers will be Taika Waititi. And I know you didn't really watch What We Do in the Shadows, but it took liberties from a really fun and funny movie and created this zany, fun world and new characters. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Young Frankenstein was boring, and then I let time go by, and I recently tried watching it a few years ago, and I'm like, maybe I'm wrong, but I was bored as shit watching it. I like the cast, I like the people behind it, but I'm intrigued to see this.
You're not gonna get exactly. I think especially the film itself, trying to represent a like the talkie era, we're just coming out of the silent film era, is kind of what we're spoofing. Is how I always kind of took the original Young Frankenstein. But like you said, Taika Waititi totally gets the dark gothic comedy aspect of it, taking a show that originally was, I mean, I guess that's Dark Shadows, but like drawing inspiration from what used to be a soap opera back in the day that then was kind of spoofed into a movie that was then became this, I think he totally gets the source of what they're aiming for, what the audience is expecting to seeing at the time, and why not deliver on something like this? It's funny. I think this is kind of an awesome collaboration of elements here. Get it while you can.
Sure. Hell yeah.
Mel, fucking cash those checks, dude.
Just turned 99 recently, so you live it up. Now, do you think with this happening, like we're getting Spaceballs 2, we're getting this, do you think he's just trying to relive the glory or cement his name and find a new fan base before he passes? What do you think's going on with this choice?
Maybe a little more the second. It's just like, hey guys, just don't forget, I did these things, which it's just funny because I think there's a lot of us who are like, well, I will never forget. We grew up in that era of absolutely. We saw some of your best work growing up. And then
now,
what
do you
really
think?
His truly best was before we were born, but
do you think we might get more stuff like maybe in History of the World he redid as part 2 as a TV series with Nicole and others running that? Do you think we might get like another Robin Hood Men in Tights, or maybe something like a Ballsy Blazing Saddles series? Or what do you think?
To be honest, if I secretly kind of hope if they were to do Blazing Saddles again, they need to go as fucking hard, if not harder, than the original did, or it won't work. If you pull punches, it will not land, and it will come off the wrong way. So,
and that's the thing. Even back then, it was risky, but it was 100%. A different time. But everyone nowadays is like, oh, you can't do comedy. You can't do hard comedy. And I think if they were to go and do this and prove there's a market for it, people aren't just snowflakes. They want to see something funny as long as it's tastefully done. I think that could be pretty big for the genre and do a comedy renaissance if they were to do something like that.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be refreshing to I want that shocking punch of comedy that's not just trying to offend, but do it like the original Blazing Saddles did. It presents it in a way that makes fun of the thing that either the hateful people or the fact that we're trying to tiptoe around something that just exists in this world.
Right?
Like intolerance is at an all-time high. Maybe just acknowledging, look, all of this sucks, right?
Yeah.
And laughing at it, I think we could all get behind.
And he can satire so much right now in the current political and economic standpoint. Like, it's only gotten worse since that movie came out 30, 40 years ago.
I would agree.
Like, there's so much they could do right now with poking satire at that. Like, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't got another Team America in this kind of world that we're living in currently.
Because the big studios don't want to touch it. I think that's really the problem. The creatives, I'm sure, are coming up with these things, and I'm sure there's audience members that were willing to see it. But it's because stand-up comedians aren't afraid of these things, so there is an audience for it. It's the big money doesn't want to back risky comedy. And I'm sure there's a better way of classifying it, but it's like I just miss this. Like, no, let's make fun of the racist fuck who's sinking in the quicksand, and like, you know, like the running gag is up. Now he doesn't even realize. You don't know. You're like neck deep in it now.
Which, now that I'm saying that, I do go back and think to a year or two ago, I want to say, we did get Michael Jai White's rendition of A Blazing Saddles with the legend of the outlaw Johnny Black, which is kind of like that. So if you're looking for something like that, fantastic film. It's not the world's best, but it has that sort of flair and style to it, which is fun.
And it's Michael Jai White kicking ass, so
yeah,
it's
I'll watch
always
him do anything.
entertaining. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. Anywho, moving on, a couple of episodes ago, we talked about the fact that they're making a live-action Bratz movie, and now it looks like Kim Kardashian is being eyed to star in this.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
First choice.
The world is getting what they need.
That's finally. I can. Oh, okay. I don't have to hold my breath anymore. It's finally happening. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I
think
thought Bratz were
was still a
teenagers.
thing. Oh no, Brat! It's funny. I remember Bratz being a thing of like when they were coming out. My mom was just like, telling my sisters, "You're not getting those things.
They were too risky.
Yeah,
too sexualized.
risque. Yeah. I'm like, which it's like I totally get that. There have been other toys that have gotten in even more trouble for a lot of those very same things, which I have to agree with. A few of them, they got pretty fucked up.
Sure, but it's an interesting take here because
the age group has aged up enough.
Crazy fan bases, and I feel like they'll go and support anything. So this could be a smart move.
No, but
to get asses in the seats. But is the talent there? I don't know. I haven't seen her in any of these shows and stuff that she's done.
Didn't
but
she
people
do?
Say she's okay.
Speaking of American Horror Story, she did that last season of it. I
stopped and she's done other Ryan Murphy shows as well, I suppose. Since then,
and the fan base I know is there because I've seen people my age walking around in Bratz t-shirts. I'm like, I don't know if it's just ironic or if you just were actually into it back in the day. You forget how fucking old the whole franchise is.
True. Early 2000s, I want to say, right?
Yeah, so it's almost, I'd say 20 years. And it's fucking, that feels kind of gross to say that out loud. Holy shit, these things are 20 years old. I feel like that sounds about right. But yeah, you know what? I can't imagine a better casting. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Plastic meets plastic.
So I'm wondering who else is going to fill up this cast. Like now they're setting the bar at Kim Kardashian. Where do you go in that world? Do you bring in other Kardashians? Do you bring in other influencer type people? Is that true?
No, it's about the tone. It's about the embodying just this like
whatever
this
blase.
A Bratz doll. Yeah, like it's
we are Bratz.
Oh man.
Well, time will tell what happens with that, but I'm sure we'll have more stories coming in the next couple of weeks. I can't wait to find out what's going on in the world of Bratz. But
my seat.
Comedy superstar Tom Segura and I guess podcast superstar Tom Segura recently had a Netflix series called Bad Thoughts that got renewed. People are loving it, and he's finally gotten a chance at starring in his own movie. He's going to be starring in an R-rated comedy called El Tigre, which is about him, his character Jeff, and his friends. They head down to Mexico for a weekend, and they discover that Jeff is a dead ringer for an infamous cartel leader who's gone missing. Well, after being captured by rival cartel members, Jeff has to pretend to be El Tigre to get him and his friends out of the situation and home. So this sounds like we could be getting a ballsy comedy movie like we we're just talking about.
It also sounds eerily familiar to his buddy's action comedy movie featuring a certain Luke Skywalker.
The Machine?
Yeah. But I got to be honest, I like Tom Segura's comedy more. So, it's funny. It's like that alone. I'm like, okay. I'm
the inverse of that. Like, I tried watching Tom Segura's comedy after I got into listening to the Machine's shit and liking his comedy, but I feel like I don't like the style of Tom Segura, but I see the appeal in it, and he sells out all these big audience stand-up shows. Why not give him some movies?
I think it's his storytelling format and just his pacing of a very like flat response to his opinion of the situation. And my favorite bit to this day is still his favorite episode of Scared Straight. Bikes. Val and I quote that all the fucking time. just see a bikes, and we got to do it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued. Even though we made that comparison, I'm like, I genuinely like the guy.
I'm all for comedians getting to get their time in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And like I said, people loved his sketch comedy or whatnot show that he had on Netflix. So, well, the iron's hot, strike it, get it. Why not?
Absolutely.
And speaking of, well, the iron's hot, Dave Bautista is finally living his wildest dreams, and he is going to star in a rom-com titled The Romantic. And it follows a best-selling romance author named Francine London. But Francine's secret is she's actually a 6'4" mountain of a man named Ed Schwinke. When Ed's identity comes under scrutiny, he hires a wild card of a woman to pose as Francine at a romance fiction convention, while evading a cynical female journalist who hates romance even more than she hates liars.
Was there a teaser for this a while back?
I don't think there was.
So familiar.
But
that's
I want to say it kind of reminds me of the movie starring Sandra Bullock.
Oh, right,
Brad
right.
Pitt and Channing Tatum, The Lost City of Z, slightly.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But damn, this sounds like, especially the Dave Bautista part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Huh,
and that's the thing, like, he's physically given up all that muscle because he said he wants to do more than just be a menacing badass, and he's been saying for years he wants to star in a rom-com, and
he is a talented actor.
Can pull it off.
After
watching him
fully agree
in The Last Showgirl, I feel like he could pull it off.
Oh, and instead, like, a tragic character too, because like that was such a great, especially that scene where they're either trying to have dinner together and she's just being so awkward, and like he's just trying to get through it and make it. He just wants to have a nice time because he clearly still loves her. He still is curious about what happened to his daughter. You know, like it's. But he's like
just a
so
giant
respectful.
sweetheart.
Oh my god, that was so great. I fully back that. I hope he gets to meet all of those acting thresholds he's trying to find. You know, that's great guy.
I'm kind of intrigued to see who they're going to cast as like the actor playing his character is his writer and the actor playing the critic. Like to get two powerful female actresses opposed to him, it's like maybe he'll get to be the straight guy and they'll get to be the more zany characters. It's like who do you get, like a Melissa McCarthy type or maybe a Jamie Lee Curtis type? I don't know.
Critic.
Yeah, twist it up.
Critic, and then you have.
But she can do good dramas. She has done a couple. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That'd be a nice twist on the story. I'm really intrigued to see how this pans out. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And something that we talked about a few episodes back was the casting of Street Fighter, and now they've added so many people to the cast. We have Andrew Koji as Ryu, Noah Centineo as Ken, Kalina Lang as Chun-Li, David Desmalchin as M. Bison, Cody Rhodes as Guile, Jason Momoa as Blanca, Andrew Schroll as Dan Hibiki, Roman Reigns as Akuma, Orville Peck as Vega, and 50 Cent as Barlog. It looks like they're going for people that embody and almost look like these people. Like I can buy most of these people.
Oh yeah,
it's
like what I was excited to hear both M. Bison and Akuma. Roman Reigns already looks like a fucking Street Fighter character. And the guy, he's such a. I haven't seen a lot of his fights, but I've seen bits of him in WWE, and the guy has such a ring presence. It totally makes sense. He's the next, like he's going down this lane, and then I mean, come on, 50 Cent. I love that he's getting back into it. He's like, I'm already working out. These showing photos of him like training to, because he's got to sell this like larger than life American boxer that I mean, you think about it, a guy going from dominating the world of boxing to underground street fighting around the world, and he's competing with people who can shoot fucking energy beams out of his hands.
Insane.
So you got to really lay it all on the table. So I'm excited. It sounds like this is going to be a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching the Mortal Kombat movie. This sounds like it should be a fun time too. So.
And I like M. Bison, the thought of Del Smulchin. Like he doesn't necessarily come to mind, but I think he can pull it off. I'm a little upset. They were reporting a few weeks ago that Walter Goggins was in talks, but it sounds like he couldn't get the money he wanted. I think that could have been really fun. But Del Smulchin,
as M. Bison though,
I don't know.
I don't know.
It could be
Dismulsion,
interesting.
but our
But
guy here,
Dismulsion's a little more. He
he
reminds me
has
of
a
a role.
menacing presence. He has
Yes.
the air about him. I think you just got to put him in the hat and the cape and the pauldrons.
Mm-hmm.
We're there. I could see
True.
it. He could just be a faster, quicker, the Luigi version versus the Mario of M. Bison.
There we go.
If that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I hope this is a big screen, and don't short us on a streamer.
Don't just
only.
drop it on a streamer. Yeah, this needs to be experienced on the biggest, loudest screen, and just action and gore.
I want to see the colors. I want to see just crazy combos. It's got to be, and the locations.
Oh, true.
Oh man, we got to see some classics here. So bring it on.
Yeah, you can bring it. I mean, right now, video game movies are having their renaissance and actually quality. So this could be good in the right hands. Like, I'm sad that we're not getting the duo behind Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, because they're fantastic filmmakers. But the fact that they walked away and said, no, we want to do something original, I respect that. So I'm intrigued to see how this all comes together. Yeah. But moving on. Speaking of fights, Roadhouse director is following up the Roadhouse franchise by doing a big screen remake of the beloved Stephen King novel, The Stand. Now, I know they had back, I want to say the 80s or 90s, a TV series version of The Stand, and a limited series came out back in, I want to say 2019 on Paramount Plus, but I don't think we've ever seen a big screen version. Have you read this? I know it's like a post-apocalyptic.
Sadly, I literally own a copy of it. I can see it on my bookshelf right now. I've started it multiple times, but I was always at a bad time.
It's a biggie, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's many versions. So that's the thing, is Stephen King has re-released the book several times with a lot of chapters he's edited out. And some people argue, like, this edition's good, but it's too short. This edition's good, but he's added way too much. Or like, this one sucks because he added everything back in. And it's like, it makes sense why he cut this and that out. Same thing. I have the original miniseries on DVD that Rob Lowe stars in. I've watched the first episode multiple times, but it's hard to get, like, it just was hard to come back and maintain watching the whole thing.
And it's a very rich, in-depth story too. And I was so excited for the Paramount Plus one, but never got to it.
Yeah. This is another one that it is actually, a lot of the story points were used as inspiration for a lot of the various Fallout game quest lines and things. I know Fallout New Vegas actually follows a lot of the plot of this book. Just the basic, and then Fallout 3 and New Vegas. But the inspiration here, it's incredible too. I've the setup for it is fantastic. I do like this kind of apocalypse story where it's the de-evolution of society and like what we always come back to, and it's these same elements. But didn't it also kind of span from like a pandemic type thing? So it's like fresh in everyone's mind at this point. It was a variation of the flu virus, a mutation of the flu virus that started the initial like killing off of a bulk of the Earth's population, and it devolves into crazy religions and the remnants of society and the military trying to start their own thing.
That's always a good thing to do. I'm
curious because it's widely regarded as it's one of the higher ranked of Stephen King's books, but every time it gets adapted and the fans of the book say they're terrible because you're missing XYZ elements that made the book shine. So I'm curious, what are you going to pull for a film? Because every time they've attempted it previously, it's been a series because there's so much going on and it's so rich.
Now, I'm wondering if they're going to go ahead and do like the Harry Potter or the Dune type or Wicked type thing, and split it into multiple movies and not call it a trilogy, but more part 1, part 2, part 3 or whatnot.
Yeah. Like you get to the end of the first one and you're like, wait a minute, this is only like the first 6 chapters. And you're like, part 2 coming soon. You're like, fuck you.
Piss everyone off in the cinema.
But I'll be there.
So, all right. So since you have a little bit of a baseline, do you feel like Doug Liman, the director behind Swingers and The Bourne Identity and Edge of Tomorrow, do you think he'd be a good fit for this franchise or movie?
I could kind of see that because I loved Edge of Tomorrow. That is a great perspective on a post-apocalyptic sort of world. This one bends this one's nothing like that. So I like that although we can kind of live in a similar genre, the basis for it is completely different. and it's coming from a wildly different perspective. A lot of religious iconic elements and people looking to other things for their, faith again, and or lack of, or it's the inverse. You don't turn to those things. That's what led us down this path kind of mentality. And I'm excited for this, for another shot at this. And if we get enough of an audience behind it, it does well enough. Yeah, folks, this is one I would definitely love to review for you guys.
Hell yeah. So, speaking of things that people are looking forward to, Matt Reeves and Mattson Tomlin have finally handed in a draft of the Batman 2 to James Gunn, Peter Safran, and DC Studios. A lot of people were afraid this wasn't going to happen, but they've made a whole to-do about it. How do you feel about this? Do you think the time has passed for the Batman 2? Do you think we need it? Yeah,
I was here for it. I loved the Batman. I thought that was although we've had a lot of Batman films in the last 20 years, that one offered us such a fresh take on a character that didn't need to be carried by other movies anymore. And then
it was nice one and done.
Followed up with an incredible fucking series that also stood so well, even though it existed within that universe, it still stood up so well on its own. I am ready for more of that. The cast was fantastic. The direction was fantastic. Yeah, I don't mind. Take your time, make it right.
Yeah, right.
I'm all here for it. I don't care if it takes that long.
Now, the interesting thing is we don't fully know if this is our first draft or the draft that needs to be ready to go into production. Right. Like, it could be bad, and they're like, oh, no, we're going to sit back. Maybe we're not going to make it. But I feel like the fact that they're toting that this is done in a big way could be a good sign that maybe we're going to get that momentum that we've been waiting for. Like you said, don't rush it. Take your time. Yeah. And something good can come from it, hopefully.
I would firmly believe Robert Pattinson will be more than ready to put on the cowl again. And
yes,
that is a Batman I want to see again.
And sure. I'm sorry. My mind was blown. Spoiler alert, the movie came out 4 or 5 years ago. The fact that Gotham City was flooded and they got to start from anew, it could be interesting seeing that. I don't know. I haven't watched the Penguin, if that factors into the show, but I'd be intrigued to see how that factors into this next movie.
It does in a pretty significant way. So that's why you can't deny, because although you never see Batman, he's Batman.
Referenced though.
He's never talked about. Or he is talked about like in the news, and it comes up in conversation once in a while. But because of what's going on, it's like, this is why we have this avenue over here. Everyone's way too distracted looking at all the damage, the flooding, all the crap that's going on over there.
Take advantage.
I can take advantage. I can capitalize here.
Nice.
And I think that's why that worked so well, because he's not the big bad. He's running the fucking middle of the road street gang. And that's why it was so fucking cool, because you got to actually see the Penguin rise up. This just like why I think the Batman worked so well. He's not already at the top of his game. He's still trying to figure out how to do it. He can't even balance both lives yet. Where I think
in the let's say like Batman Begins. We got to watch. He was already wealthy. He already had all the training. We're watching that. Yeah. But we really get to see the beginnings of what we know becomes one of the world's biggest superheroes, essentially.
Yes. It's like almost an animosity or resentment that Alfred's giving him, because it's like, look, I raised you, kid. I can't let you fucking die. But I get you got to do this. I understand your motivation. But damn it. I like that they're working up to this. The rhythm and the pattern that Bruce is going to commit to, and bring it on.
Our like you mentioned, our Alfred in this universe, isn't it Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis, yes.
You can't ask for a better Alfred. I feel like almost all the Alfreds on film have been fantastic, but I feel like Serkis is young enough to grow old into the role if they keep going for many years.
You're right. And he's versatile. Alfred. You can't. Trick question. You can't. They're all great.
True.
Let
us know in the comments.
Series,
how you feel about that?
Oh yeah. Like there isn't. I don't think there was ever a bad Alfred. Michael Caine was awesome.
Fantastic.
Was Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. in the animated series. Fucking loved his voice in that portrayal. Yeah. My God. Yeah. Even the original. I love the in the 90s Batman films. I can't think of the actor's name now.
That guy.
my favorite quote of just Mr. Grayson took the car. The Rolls Royce? No, the other car. And we kept zooming in on his face until he's just getting angrier and angrier. So great. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know. Favorite DC hero there. So
fair enough. Well, you know who I want to see? And someone asked James Gunn about this recently, and he said there's no movement on it, but one that I would kill to see, Static Shock. I feel like we're reinventing the DC universe. Why not give us Static?
That would be cool. Yeah. I like that show too.
Yeah.
That was a fresh look at the
And
kid
when?
superhero.
We have the Elseworlds going on. Why are we not getting Batman Beyond? Everyone wants
Oh my
it. They're craving
god,
it.
yes. I
Come
fucking
on.
love that. That was I think the best follow-up to the Batman animated series you could have.
Oh yeah.
Was Batman Beyond. Some of the other offshoot DC like Justice League ones were okay, but Batman Beyond was just killer from go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You know, I still got to watch that Amazon Cape Crusader show. I haven't made it past that episode we saw back in Comic-Con.
Oh shoot! Oh yeah.
Did you watch all of it?
I didn't finish the series, but I got about halfway through. I would still recommend
Pretty good?
it. It is, yes.
That's on my list.
The feeling
That
we got in the first one is maintained through.
Now, what
I
would
saw,
you
so.
suggest? Should I watch that first or go to the Penguin?
Oh,
or just back to back them?
I mean, you could do them back to back. I don't think it matters which order because they're different enough in tone.
True.
And I don't like it. Doesn't hurt the brain, going from one to the other. Penguin is it's great. It is very, I think, kind of very bingeable in that once the stone gets rolling, you kind of want to see what happens next.
True.
Cape Crusader is very
That's
episodic.
Yeah.
So you can kind of parcel it out if you wanted to, and it makes me feel like I'm watching the original animated series.
That's just what I want. I crave
a more grown up. Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a huge fan of Batman the animated series. I watched it, but now going back, I'm like, that was one of the finer. I could easily rewatch that series and be like, yeah, and pick up on so much more. It was more adult, more dark, more gritty than we got with other. Like, let's say X-Men, which I love X-Men from the early 90s, but a little different.
And then we got more X-Men 97 coming.
Yeah, I have to finish that. So now I'm going to reiterate. I'm going to go to, after I finish Wu-Tang and American Saga, I'm going to go over to X-Men 97. Then I'll bounce over to maybe Penguin. Sorry. Anyways, we're here in news. All right. Another thing we talked about on episode 217, which my shit's out of order here, my slideshow. We talked about the top contenders for directors of the next 007 film. And since then, we have found out that Dune director Denis Villeneuve is coming on to do this. I don't know how this guy functions. He went from Dune 2 to Dune. Dune 2. He's working on Dune 3. Then he's going to jump right into James Bond. Wow.
So here's what it is.
Crazy.
He's got a swiveling director's chair and a full crew behind him shooting the other movie at the same time. Something. So he just turn, action, and turn, cut, and turn, action.
Why not just recycle the cast? Get Timmy Chalamet as fucking James Bond.
Old Timmy.
Get Javier Bardem back as a villain, maybe a different villain. Oh man, I don't know. How do you feel about this? Out of all the names we've talked about, I'm still sad that we didn't get Edgar right, but I knew that was a long shot.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That was Edgar Wright would have been, but he's got his hat in a lot of rings now.
Speaking of which, have you watched? They dropped the trailer for Running Man. I haven't watched it yet because I'm waiting to record a trailer.
No, fuck.
Oh man,
I did. I'm a little. Well, you know what? It's kind of awesome. I'm hearing it for the first time while recording now. Damn it! Oh no, I know the first thing I'm going to do when we're done recording. I'm going to watch.
There you go. I've heard good things. Nobody said anything bad about the trailer. That's a good sign. I'm thinking
that is. I mean, I love some really schlocky Schwarzenegger, and Running Man is really high up there on the list for me. But it's one of those that it's so ridiculous. I totally could see you getting it remade and applied to the current political climate, and why not? And it doesn't take anything away from the original.
Sure, that's gonna live out there.
Yeah, it's its own thing. So yeah, I'm excited to check out what's going on there.
Cool. All right, and also since we're on the new James Bond talk, there's a quote unquote a variety says Amazon's eyeing either Harris Dickinson, Jacob Elordi, or Tom Holland as their Bond, and a lot of people are saying that's bullshit. But I don't know if you had to look at any of these actors.
That's interesting.
How do you feel
What's funny is I thought in the middle there that was Kit Harington for a second, but I guess is he
Yeah, no,
too
it's
old
Elordi with
or? But like no, but
it would be kind of. Well,
that
that's the
clearly
thing.
seems
Some
to be what
people,
they're going for. They're going for.
some people are
young.
saying that they're going for a younger Bond because that way you can keep him around for years to come and he can grow into the role.
They want to Sean Connery somebody. They want someone who can do 12. I get it. I mean, you can tell because Daniel Craig was such a fantastic choice. But they weren't.
Which at the time, very controversial. Everyone was outraged that you have a giant blonde-haired man being James Bond.
Blonde hair, blue
and he's one of everyone's favorites. Nobody has a bad thing to say about him.
No, agreed. So I like Tom Holland.
Me too.
That's who I'd throw. That's probably the horse I'd back in this race.
I'm not. I haven't seen too much of these other guys.
First. Same here.
Yeah.
So that is where I'm basing a lot of that from. But
and a lot of people are also saying the co-star of F1, who was the other driver. I'm blanking on his name. A lot of people are throwing him in the ring, like that guy. He should be him. And I'm like, he was good in F1. I could see that. And a lot of people are saying Aaron Pierre from Rebel Ridge and upcoming Lanterns. I feel like a lot of people want to see him, but they're not sure if he's too old. But I feel like if Lanterns is a success, that's someone who they should definitely be considering.
He is definitely. He had that screen presence in Rebel Ridge. Oh my God, no, it's funny. As soon as you said that, I'm like, fuck, lightning strike right there. It's like, yeah, I could totally see him doing that. He knows how to carry it. He knows how to talk his way through the fight first, or at least try to until the resistance is too much, and he's got to, result to his skills to get through the situation. Oh man, no, that would be a cool choice too. I totally get that. Dang.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell. I know there's going to be so much in the air, and what's funny, it probably won't be any of these guys. It's going to be someone else.
That's so true.
Entirely.
There'd be someone. I mean, that's the thing. Do you go with the name that you know? Most of the time, when they're doing James Bond, it's someone who's on the rise or someone who people don't fully know.
Yes, historically, it's someone like they're doing really well, like in the UK, or it's they've built up, they've started in enough movies that the audience is like, oh yeah, well sure, I'll show up because they're in it, and then now they got to make half a dozen or more of these. Interesting. Now this is one like you said, this is the same kind of. I think it was a more contentious argument back when before Casino Royale came out, of like, well, who the fuck is ever going to step into those shoes? Well, it turns out there's very capable actors doing this. I'm still bummed that we didn't get a Idris Elba version of James Bond,
right?
Because I think
everyone was wanting it. It's like, hell yeah! And then after watching him in a movie we're going to review later, I'm like, man, yes,
right?
He should.
What we could have had. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of something that we did have and that we might have again, it looks like James. Old James. Why am I saying James? Wow. Why am I?
His friends call him James.
Michael Bay. Sorry, I'm going to start over again, folks, because I'm all over the place. The Town's Matthew Bellany recently dropped some big news about Transformers by saying Michael Bay has approached the studio last year to come back as a hands-on producer and possibly direct a new Transformers movie. And apparently there's 5 different Transformer movies in development right now. We got a live action movie with Transformers 1 director Josh Cooley coming back and doing, even though they don't want him to do another animated one.
It's a sequel to 1?
No, a completely new one. Which I loved 1 and people wanted to see a sequel, but he recently went on and was talking to someone who asked him, and he says he has a plan for it, but the studio hasn't greenlit it, so that doesn't sound promising.
Yeah.
Then we also have the possible G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, which was teased at the end of the last Transformers movie.
That's kind of the only one I'm here for.
Right? And it's like, and then there's a few other ones, but there's also been rumors that Michael Bay may come back for a giant movie that would take Shia and Megan Fox and, like you were just joking earlier, Transformers. Our good old Ben fucking, I am all over the place today. Sorry, folks. Mark Wahlberg. So I don't know. Would you be intrigued to see Michael Bay come back and do another Transformers movie if he brought back everyone from those original movies, or just let it be and move on to something new?
I couldn't care less. I didn't see the last two, I think, and I remember like I was Val and I were having lunch at our favorite Mexican restaurant around the corner, and they just had one of the TVs on cable, and I finished up some movie that we did like. It was like, oh, that's kind of funny to listen to in the background. And then I'm like, what the fuck is this kid running around in rubble? And there's like, wait, oh my god, and then realized it was the beginning of a Transformers movie. I'm just like, that's can't. Funny. I can't anymore. I just, after the last one I saw, I think was the third one. The first one without Megan Fox, I think was the last one I watched. And I was like, I'm not
gonna lie. They have gone downhill since then. But then there were some good ones. I didn't see the last Michael Bay one, and I was kind of intrigued by the premise from like, I don't even care. But I will say the Bumblebee prequel they did, fantastic. The last one they did,
that one.
Yeah, that one was fun. The last one they did that kind of brought the Dinobots and whatnot, or
the faux Beast Wars.
The Beast Wars one, that was okay. And that's the one that's supposed to lead into the G.I. Joe crossover, which they set up as a post-credit scene. But I feel like this is more of a cash grab. Michael Bay has tried doing other movies. Like he did that Jake Gyllenhaal ambulance movie, and I want to say he did another flops. It's like, why not just go and make a classic movie like you did with Bad Boys? Something unique, something your style, not just return to big fighting robots.
Yeah, no, but I like how you worded that. Something like Bad Boys. Don't do Bad Boys again, please, for the love of Christ. Yeah. But that tone, like what we used to remember when you said a Michael Bay movie,
it meant like, something.
Oh yeah, okay, I know. Okay, you explosions, sepia tones,
crazy camera angles,
attractive women in unnecessary garb for the scene, and then I guess the same can be said for a lot of the dudes too. Yeah, like
what they did with Anthony Anderson in the first movie. Oh, boner alert, folks.
Just big
blockbuster,
spectacles.
Throwback.
Yes,
exactly. Summer movie,
popcorn movies. I call them popcorn movies. I want that again, but just don't make 7 of them. Okay, Mike.
Yeah,
Mikey. Can I call you Mikey?
Why not? He's not listening.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah, I feel like we're in the same boat here. Just let Transformers be for a bit, folks.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. All right, here's some crazy big news. So since the early 2000s, there's been rumors about a live-action film adaptation of the astounding manga turned anime film Akira, whatever you want to pronounce it. I say Akira. And Warner Brothers has had the rights to this property for years. Various directors have been attached. Our last director attached was Taika Waititi. Leonardo DiCaprio has been in talks to produce it. And Warner Brothers recently lost the rights to it. And now it's kind of reverted back to the people who owned it in the first place. And now all the studios are making bids for it. And I'm kind of relieved. I feel like you can't do this movie right. Don't do it at all. The anime lives in a world of its own.
And it's still a masterpiece.
Yes.
Like that's
I went back and saw it, I want to say 2 years ago, when they re-released it as the world was opening up again. And it holds up beautifully.
This was one of the first movies I remember. I think it was in David Johnson's class. Val was so against, like, oh, I don't like anime. I don't like cartoons. I just don't like, I can't do it. And then went to his class where he was showing Akira on Blu-ray in the theater at school. And she's like, oh my God, that was really good. I'm like, yes! See, you can tell an animated story that is not meant for kids at all. And it can be profoundly impactful. This thing was gorgeous. This is one of the first times I remember watching a documentary on the making of a film that I was probably just as engrossed in how they made this movie as the film itself was. And it's still amazing. So with all that said, like you said, I agree with you. If you don't think you're going to do it right, don't force it out. Let it die.
Because this took place in
spend
like
the
Neo
time to make it-
Tokyo.
Yeah.
And there's been talks that it was going to be like Neo New York or
No.
Manhattan, and it's like no, fuck you. And we saw what happened with another classic anime, Ghost in the Shell. They made an American version of that. I walked out of the theater. I didn't care. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. And I never walked out of the theater.
Unfortunately, that also happened to. I didn't watch it, but a lot of people had a similar reaction to Cowboy Bebop when that was released on Netflix.
Yeah,
the live
I had
action version
hopes
of
for
that.
it. Mm-hmm.
Especially given the cast, I'm like, that seems like it should be good. But then on the flip side, you have One Piece that exploded and people loved it.
I put out like a little trailer reaction. They did a little snippet before the ta-das happened. And I'm like, I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. And so many fucking comments. People are like, they did this right. This anime is dead on. This live action is dead on. People love that show. I'm not a One Piece fan, but I'm happy that they were able to translate that well in real life.
If that was the fandom responds, then all right, there could be something. So and
it's funny. A couple of weeks ago, my brother was like, he sent me something online about Taika doing it, and he's like, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, yeah, but Taika's actually says he wants to make it dead on like the manga, opposed to doing fucking something of his own or just following the anime. And he was excited, but I'm like, don't get your hopes up. This has been floating around for years, and then a couple weeks later, dead in the water. And as much as I love Taika, I don't think this property would have been right for him.
This one, I think, needs to be, like you said, no offense to him, but I think it needs to be a lot more serious. And there's the humor is way more tongue in cheek when it does happen, and it's
very dark.
Yeah,
you know, it could be interesting.
Dark.
We were talking. Michael Bay could do an interesting thing here. I'm not saying he'd be a great fit, but his action, his style, his kind of kineticness could be interesting for something like that. But I still don't know. I don't know who would be a good director for
Jordan Peele.
Ooh, he has talked about wanting to do it, but that just, the man's in high demand. I don't know if that will ever happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. If I were to hear tomorrow this director was attached and it was Jordan Peele, I'd be like, okay, all fears gone.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about it at all, because that man would not pay it disrespect.
True. And for you folks who don't know the anime or the manga, the fact that Leonardo DiCaprio is interested in producing it gotta say something about how big this is.
It is. I think it's definitely one of the most revered just anime stories. Period. There's a lot of there's all sorts of great stuff out there, and I'm not putting anything else down. I think this one just stands a little bit taller than a lot of other things, because every decade you can go back, watch this again, and it's still a fucking fantastic film.
Oh yeah. And the visuals, like for the time that it was made in like the 80s, it's like, how? Wow, this is
nothing's
crazy.
gonna beat that level of detail in the hand-drawn animation and the way they filmed it, because it wasn't just cells, but the moving frames, the moving panels. Like that was such an incredible feat. And I know other things have done it, but it just looked so gorgeous on the big screen, the way they accomplished it. The music. The music is powerful, or sometimes it's the lack of music in some scenes where it's just so unsettling, and it just, god damn that.
And it just gets darker and darker as it goes. It's it's something that's like, just re-release it every couple of years in theaters and let people just like learn to love it for what it is, or read the manga. I don't know, but time will tell. I'm happy that it didn't happen, sadly. That's what I'm going to say out of this.
I just want to see Tetsuo morph into a giant fucking mom. Like, what's the live action version of that gonna be? You know,
right?
Oh my god, that's gonna be great.
Oh man,
or just what? Like,
it could be good, but
yes.
It's very delicate. Speaking of very beloved, the South Korean movie Old Boy. There's rumors that Park Chan-wook's 2003, adrenaline-filled revenge movie Old Boy is currently supposedly in pre-production of a sequel. I don't know. Do you fuck with Old Boy? Do you know Old Boy?
You know, it's one that I always meant to get to, and unfortunately I didn't, because I remember at the time Netflix was pushing, they were able to stream all three of them for a minute because the new one was coming out.
Old Boy's just one movie. One standalone film.
Lady,
I'm not sure, but this movie is fantastic. Like, I recently resaw, I think it was like the 20th anniversary re-release, and it still holds up. Fantastic movie, dark, gritty, crazy twist. And I want to say 2009, 2010. I think Spike Lee made a remake with Josh Brolin and Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. And this making a sequel for a movie like this that doesn't require a sequel is weird, and it makes no sense. It's like, why? Park Chan-wook has done so many other fantastic movies. Just keep doing original things. Like, I don't know if this needs.
I looked at. Sorry, I want to correct myself. So all of the stories don't combine. It was meant to be a part of a Vengeance trilogy.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Lady Vengeance, Old Boy. The Old Boy was the first of his. But no, it's like saying Shaun of the Dead is in a trilogy. It's like
the Coronado trilogy. Yeah, it's
right,
like anthology-ish.
Yeah, like yes and no. It's they were made, probably created together in the mind of the creative at the time, the director, but it doesn't necessarily mean the stories are all sequential.
Yeah, interconnected. Which, speaking
my mistake.
No, you're good. I apologize. I didn't think about that. It makes sense. Speaking of what you were saying about the Coronado trilogy, now that the Running Man is coming out and Mission Impossibles have stopped being made, supposedly, Simon Pegg has gone on to say that he and Edgar Wright are going to meet up and try to do something new. And of course, Nick Frost will try to work it in. Now he's Hagrid, so that's a time commitment. But they're talking about doing a fourth movie together, but it's not going to be exactly like the Coronado trilogy. It's going to be something different. I'm excited to see what they can do with it.
Yeah.
Something new. It's been so many years. They've all have become better filmmakers, better writers, better actors. Why not?
They've all sharpened the tools in every way. So yeah, it's like I'm with you. It doesn't necessarily need to fit into that specific niche. I just love how they work together. So
yeah,
bring it on.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right. Staying in the world of remakes and sequels, Jerry Bruckheimer recently told Rich Eisen that he's working on a sequel to his 1995 Navy drama Crimson Tide. The script's being written, and if it's up to snuff and good, Denzel wants to come back and reprise his role.
Oh,
I didn't see this because this isn't my type of movie, but I know this is something you like. How do you feel about that?
I haven't watched this in years, mainly because it hasn't crossed my path on the streamers in a while. I remember watching it way back, probably well before I could understand everything that was going on. So that's really intriguing, especially if Denzel's willing to come back for it. Depending, that's a lot of motivation right there. The guy kind of likes to pick and choose who he likes working with.
Oh yeah.
How
do you feel? I don't know how things ended for Gene Hackman. Of course, he's not around. Do you think this can live without him? I assume probably.
I would assume so. It would be a way to write around it, but depending on, like you said, I really don't remember enough of the movie to say whether but I do enjoy a submarine movie, so I am all about these types of movies coming back again.
And what sounds slightly promising, Jerry Bruckheimer says the writer-director who is developing it with them has actually been talking to the Navy and finding out what's going on in the world of underwater battle and whatnot. So it sounds like they're trying to make it authentic and realistic and not just, shit happens.
Oh, yeah. No. It's one of those, it's one of those like over-examined kind of nerdy military history things of like, I enjoy reading about tank warfare and submarine warfare and battleship warfare because like it's so specific to the thing that you all kind of have to take it as the technology lets you, and it's incredible how much we've advanced in such a short period of time. I mean, there used to be Civil War had hand crank fucking submarines. Fast forward like so many years, and we've got it's incredible that they're traversing the oceans without being able to literally see where you're going. So the advancement again over this 2 decades, 3 since the last
something like that, probably 80s, 90s,
So to see that advancement on screen and see it represented, I would find that entertaining and I'd find that thrilling. It's funny, the other day I had Hunt for Red October on TV again, and I still don't get tired of that movie. It's fucking awesome.
Hey, if it works, it works. A good movie can stand the test of time and rewatchability.
Russian submarine commander. Sean Neal was in Jurassic Park.
Oh boy, watch out, Chris Walken. We get a new co-star coming to the show.
Yes. Have you seen Jardage?
Yeah, some
You can see
great
my
outfits.
junk.
Oh yeah, I bet. And you got a sweet ponytail.
Yes.
Oh well, speaking of sequels, after killing it at the box office, it looks like Brad Pitt and Joseph Kosinski might come back and do a sequel to F1. Not only that, but there's talk that Pitt could reteam with his co-star from Interview with the Vampire, Tom Cruise, in it, and it could possibly somehow be a Days of Thunder crossover because they are working on Days of Thunder and this, but two different studios.
Wild.
But
Okay.
things do happen. I don't know. What do you think? Could this?
Has Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise done a movie together yet?
I guess they did Interview of the Vampire together,
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
years
Fuck,
and years ago.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh
the
my
thing.
God.
Like when the press junkets happened, he said, "I'd love to do a movie with Tom Cruise again, but it has to be something that takes place on land and something that's not crazy action packed." And then the two were together, I think, at the London premiere of F1, and of course, Joseph directed F1 and the sequel to Top Gun. So it's like, all right, all these people kind of have this rapport. But do you think two separate studios would let these two characters in different universes collide? And then
do two separate studios want to make ass loads of money,
right? Do they want to change the game?
Right.
But it's like such a tight rope. It's like, well, would they be opponents? Would they be on the same team? Who would be the good guy? Who would be the bad guy? Each has to shine.
From what I understand about the first one, or from F1, that he's crossing over from NASCAR into Formula One.
Yes,
it would be the same thing for Tom Cruise. Oh, if this old timer could do it, then maybe I could come back. It's
true,
right? I mean, boom, right there. There's your movie. Oh, that'd be cool. I do love a racing film that actually puts you at the tracks, takes you around the world and shows you the drama. And like I always think it's funny when people brush it off that it's so boring. I'm like, well, yeah, if you're not looking past the surface level of what you're looking at, then sure. But the drama is incredible in motorsports. Yeah, why not? I haven't even seen the first one. I'm excited to hear.
Well, we're going to talk about it in a couple of minutes. So,
by the way, I don't think it would be F2, as I believe that is a class lower. So you would rise up into F1. So that would be like losing your F1 license and going to the.
Well, let me tell you, Sonny Hayes doesn't play by any man's rules, man. The way they end the movie, it's a different type of racing he's supposed to be doing in the next one. So,
okay.
I don't know.
Really?
I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's kind of cool.
Please, yeah.
Well, also staying in the realm of movies, killing it at the box office, Lilo and Stitch is one of the biggest movies this year.
Oh, yeah.
And to no one's surprise, Disney has announced they're in development of a second live-action Lilo and Stitch film. Why not? It makes sense. The writing's on the wall.
Oh, for sure. I think it's only natural. The story is already laid out there. There's between the films and the series that came after the original film that all had a following. It's just right there, right for the picking. So might as well get after it if you've already got the audience. And then this allows you to kind of wander off the path a little more because you've already got people invested in something that's slightly different from the original, from what you said in our last episode.
Yeah.
So go for it. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It is a classic. It is a modern Disney classic, I would say, but a great one nonetheless. So
1,000%. Well, staying in the realm of sequels again, Dennis. For years, Aaron Sorkin's been teasing it, but now he is finally signed the contracts. He is writing and directing The Social Network Part 2, but it's not exactly a straight up sequel. It's kind of a follow up in the same world. It's going to be based upon a whole bunch of articles that the Wall Street Journal's put out called the Facebook Files.
Okay.
And it's going to be kind of exploring the inner workings of Facebook and the multiple harmful things that have come from it, and just the world's kind of the world at bay with Facebook, essentially, and touch base on January 6th and stuff like that. I don't know. How do you feel? I feel like this is a story that Zuckerberg has done a lot of weird things since then, but there's no word if it's going to be following straight up Zuckerberg. I don't know, but how do you feel about this?
I just want there to be a very meta scene of Justin Timberlake getting invited over to Mark Zuckerberg's place, slaughtering a goat, cooking him dinner from that goat he farmed, like just the irony of Zuckerberg trying to befriend Justin Timberlake in real life. If that gets shown in this movie, I would
That'd be interesting.
fucking love it.
That'd be pretty funny.
That's my only note.
Now, I honestly, I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed The Social Network. Another movie I feel like I can pop on whenever and still get intrigued. And the cast, fantastic. But I think the thing that made the movie special was Fincher's specific style. And Sorkin, he's done some movies. He did The Trial of the Chicago 7. He's done Molly's Game, which was fun. He also did, I want to say, The Ricardos, the movie about Lucille Ball and her husband. But nothing that he's done has screamed The Social Network. He wrote it, a fantastic script, but I feel like Fincher is the executionist that made it work so well. I don't know. What do you think? I think I lost Dennis. I don't know. I don't know if I lost him or if I got a text here. It might be from him. Yeah, okay. Dennis has to pee, and I'm apparently supposed to stall. Sorry, folks. Yeah, sorry that this episode is going so long. It's just we found out that you can cut this all in post, please, Al. Sorry for the cough. But we realized we really enjoy talking about news, and we can both jump in and give our takes. So that's why it's going a little longer, and we meet up every 2 weeks. So we're trying to get so much in one episode. So this is like an oversized episode. Normally we don't run this long, but hopefully it's entertaining. And it's kind of difficult just looking at my fat ass and not seeing Dennis actually in video format, but it works because we can still hear him perfectly. So that's cool. I don't know. Our one viewer, are you just kind of leaving us on nicely, giving us a view? I assume. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. But yeah, no, gosh, I can't wait. We got some good movies we're talking about. We kind of teased it already. We're going to be, of course, reviewing F1. Dennis and I have a couple of movies that we're going to tag team together. We also teased Jurassic World Rebirth. Going to be talking about that too. Yeah, just a whole bunch of some newer movies. Next episode, we got Superman. That's a biggie. Hopefully it's good. I don't know. We'll find out in 2-3 weeks when we actually review it on this show. Wow, I suck at stalling right now. I don't know. Good times, bad times, all the times. What are you guys looking forward to? Let me know in the comments of this video if you're watching. What you're looking forward to seeing this summer? Anything? Have you seen anything good this summer? I know the summer has just kind of started recently, but there's been a lot of movies. There's some good things, some bad things. The whole world is in a frenzy right now, movie-wise. Big hits, small hits, flops. It's all out there. Oh, boy. Wow. I don't know what to talk about. It's weird. I have all this stuff written of what I'm going to talk about, but it's like I can't do it without Dennis. Rely too heavily on him. But, yeah. How do you guys feel about this news that we talked about so far? You guys like it, hate it? Anything that seems interesting? Anything we missed that you think we should talk about? Because we only have one more story left after this. So, yeah. Then we're going to get to the polls. God, we haven't even done polls yet. This is quite the mega episode here. Not mega like that bullshit. A mega supersized, overstuffed jumbo episode.
Yeah.
All right. Woo. I didn't realize you texted me until I'm like, maybe I lost Dennis.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, folks.
You
Sorry,
son
folks.
of a
Little bit of a technical difficulty that has now been corrected.
Don't call P technical difficulties.
It was quite technical. What was happening?
Okay.
No,
All right.
yeah, sorry, folks. I'm
roast out by that. But yeah, what I was saying, I don't know when you left, but the interesting thing here is that Sorkin is going to be directing and writing, and he's only directed 3 movies. He did Molly's Game, fantastic movie about kind of underground gambling. He did The Trial of the Chicago 7, and he also did Being the Ricardos. None of those movies are kind of in the same zone as The Social Network, and I feel like what made The Social Network so special was David Fincher's unique view of shooting it in style.
Yes,
Do you think Sorkin can kind of replicate that, or should it be something different than Sorkin's?
I think really one of the other factors from The Social Network, I think a lot of people passively enjoyed without realizing it, was also Trent Reznor's soundtrack. His scoring.
Oh yes, that was one of his
won
first
the
scores.
Oscar. Yeah,
yeah, that was fantastic.
It was so fucking good. I think it's the combination of all of those elements. So it's going to be pretty far from the mark. Now, could it still be something entertaining? Absolutely. He's made many other, all those films you listed off are all entertaining in their own right. But when you apply that name, The Social Network, the audience is going to have a certain expectation. Now, will the audience be able to adapt and understand this much time has passed, not just for the filmmaker, but for the story itself, that we were only telling the story up to a certain point anyways. So I'm curious to see how the palate of the audience would take that when you take away the other elements that were so critical to the success, I believe, of The Social Network itself.
I agree, yeah. But so I guess only time will tell on that. But I'm intrigued. I feel like it could be a fun story at least.
Oh yeah,
so much.
There's so much more that's happened, and it's still happening. So
yeah.
I mean, always evolving. This week you hear about this bastard getting to walk into highly classified White House meetings, and generals are looking around at each other like, "What the fuck is this nerd doing here?" Yeah, wild shit's still happening.
True. All right. Well, we have one more story that kind of snowballs from this. Over the past couple of weeks, the New York is it the New York Times? Yeah, the New York Times had polled over 500 directors, actors, and film critics to compile the 100 best films of the 21st century so far. Have you looked into this yet? Have you read up on it?
I looked through a good amount of the list. Funny enough, I was intrigued by our old classmate Mike Gams. He did his own. After this article came out, he did his own top
I know
50.
A lot of people had, but I'm like, I'm not doing that. I do a podcast and talk about shows.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah,
and my taste is so far off. I can see Mike having some fun with
there was some
Sandler
fun
movies,
entries.
Kevin Smith movies.
But then there was a lot of a couple of art house things. That's
nice.
It's interesting to see when you got to fill 50 or 100 slots in this case.
Oh,
there's a lot of things I think that you're willing to put on the table that are look,
true.
Even if it's not conventionally excellent filmmaking, it's a bold look at telling a story in a unique way. There's a lot of factors I think that come up. It's always that as I'm sure you've come across it too when you're talking to someone about us doing the show and you're like, all right, well, what's your favorite movie this year? Or what was your favorite movie last year?
Dude, honestly, happens all the time. Yeah. Even if people don't know that I do one, they'll be like, oh, what do you like? What's good? I'm like, I don't know. The amount of movies I see, they're out of my head after I see them. After I shoot a little review, after we do the show, unless they're one of the best movies ever, I got to keep a list on my phone of all the movies I really dig. And it's like, hey, if you want to hear, please check out my podcast, check out my YouTube page. You can hear so many, people ask me, even today, my brother's like, oh, how was Ballerina? I'm like, this and that. I'm like, just fucking, I have these videos. Go out and watch it.
Right. No. I don't want to, I'm not going to give you clicks.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
No, I
put in effort. Well, I mean, not just, I'm not singling you out.
Yeah.
I know you're there for it. You're here for us. But in general, when you come across those folks, it's just no, I'm saying that because I put in this amount of effort to explain to you then why I think you should or shouldn't, or no. Yeah. Let's rephrase that because that's not what we do here. Why I believe I enjoyed or didn't enjoy this film. And that informs your decision on whether or not you want to see it. And I think especially when there's 100 in the last 25 years, I mean, shit,
and
that covers a lot of ground.
And on this show, we've been doing, it's 5 years now. I essentially see 3 to 4 movies in theaters a week. And that's not even on top of all the streaming movies that go straight to streaming. So
do that math, folks.
So many fucking movies. It's hard to keep it all in the head. It's sorry. So I'm intrigued. I haven't actually looked at this list, but I do have the top 10 here. You mind mowing through it with me for a sec?
Oh, please.
All right.
Let's do it.
So just funnily enough, we're talking about it. Number 10, The Social Network. I feel like that makes sense. Yep. It's a good movie.
It had such a profound impact too. I know for a while it was one of my sister's favorite movies. That was, or at least it was up there. We'd rewatch it for fun.
Sure.
And it totally makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's the all the components together that make that movie so good.
Mm-hmm.
Between the cinematography, the score, the performances, the directing,
All of
when
it.
all the pieces work, that's what you get.
Yeah. All right, number 9. I hit a button and
Number
accidentally
9.
clicked something else. Number 9. Like we've been talking about classic animes, one of my favorite Miyazaki movies, which I've seen on the big screen multiple times, Spirited Away. You ever watch Spirited Away?
No, unfortunately, no. It was funny. I was just talking about the other
man.
day. It's like, you know what? I gotta catch up on Spirited Away and Howl's Flying Castle. I need to watch.
Oh, dude, that was the first anime I saw on the big screen. Howl's, because me and Nick went to Boston for a screening of Batman Begins before it came out. Didn't make it into that, and it's like, oh, this anime is playing, and oh man, my love of seeing anime on big screens.
The beginning of the end for you.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, my first anime, we were just talking about Akira. When me and my brother were super young, we stood at my grandparents, my dad's parents' house. Don't really do that ever. But they brought us Blockbuster. Nick picked out Akira, and I'm like, what am I watching? Like, my little brain's like, I couldn't comprehend the movie at the time.
Sure.
That was my earliest. Yeah. But Spirit, like, yeah, even Sarah's like, I'm willing to give those Ghibli movies a watch. And I'm like, I don't even know where to begin with people, but Spirited Away is one that's well worth it. It's rich characters, beautiful animation. Definitely worth watching. If you folks have Max, it's on Max.
I will say, Toasties, to defend myself, it's not like I haven't seen any of them. Princess Mononoke was my first introduction.
That's another fantastic
movie's still fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Just have to defend myself there, I feel like.
No. You don't have to defend yourself. Not everyone needs to see everything. But I mean, it doesn't hurt. All right. Number 8. I think you'll agree with me. We talked about this director earlier, how great he is. Get Out, Jordan Peele's film.
Oh my God, yes.
Hard to disagree with this.
Yep.
Took the world by storm.
Yeah.
Going from, is this comedy guy really going to make a horror movie?
Right.
And
we all had the same reaction too. And I love it, just like, I don't know. And it was just, it's like you could tell that the tide was rolling in as people were seeing the film of like, fuck yeah. Oh my God, he can do this. He fell through on Nope the other day. And I'm like, God damn it, I love this one too. There's a tone Jordan Peele has.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chord he strikes. He just gets filmmaking, and it's so impressive. Like you said,
now,
transition.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Get Out is the best, and he's been chasing that high for me. Right. Nope was okay, but I liked Us a little bit more than Nope. But I gotta rewatch them all. I bought Sarah the triple feature Blu-ray of them a couple of years ago, and I'm like, I gotta just sit down and read.
I think I need to
Get Out.
I'll
never say no to.
I gotta rewatch Us because I feel the same way. I feel the inverse. Nope, I liked more than Us initially.
Well, it's interesting. I saw Us twice in theaters, and each time I'm like, I don't really know. A little bored, but yeah, I got to rewatch that as well. But Get Out, I think, makes sense being on this list. 100%.
It's going to go down as an American classic film.
Heck yes. Number 7. I don't fully agree, but I do know people love this movie a lot, and I agree it's on there. It's just not one of my tops. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh yeah, shit. There's another one. It's like, I remember like in high school when I was feeling edgy, getting into. I was watching films. I'm watching films, not movies.
You're a connoisseur of good cinema.
That was one that was like, yeah, really.
I love the cast, but yeah, it just went over my head at the time, and I've never cared to fully try to give it. It's
it's funny. I think we're both the age. Maybe it is the time we try to hit it.
It makes sense.
Probably have a new appreciation.
It's just such a downer of a movie. I feel like
it is.
Why do I want to be drained? But it's like you have to every now and again.
It's one of those movies you gotta pad something else behind it to kind of bring you back up, just to make sure you level out the emotions before bed.
Yeah, for sure. All right, number 6, a movie that I loved. I saw when it came on DVD, but I've never gone back and rewatched. And I always say I'm gonna. No Country for Old Men. Fantastic movie.
My fucking God, that is. Yeah, I think that's probably a top 5 for me. It's one of those powerful films that it's just the raw storytelling is what gets you from beginning to end. There's no tricks, if there's any special effects, it's to like scrub something out of the fucking frame. There's nothing like
it's just down and gritty, like just oh god, everything about it, the performances, the writing, the directing, the acting, top notch. Deserves to be number 6.
And one of my favorite facts about it is the only thing you can't say is the music is great because you don't get any until the fucking credits roll. And I'll never forget sitting in the theater and a hitting of just, oh my god,
that's the effectiveness of not having music. When you have it, it hits and it has that holy fuck, I've missed this, and it's perfect.
It's just ambient music is the only time, or contextual music. The mariachi band waking them up, just fucking guts bleeding out on that fountain in Mexico. Oh god, their faces just. Oh my god, it's just still that movie. Yeah. I watch it at least once a year.
I gotta find it and watch it again because I always say I'm gonna watch it and then it just slides by. But yeah, number 5. I'm ashamed to say, out of all the movies I see all the time, I didn't see this one, and I know people loved it. Won a bunch of awards. Moonlight. Barry Jenkins. It kind of tells the story of a young African American man from like boyhood to manhood, and I think it has LGBTQ plus things going on. Very art housey. Barry Jenkins, I think, did it.
Wow,
I heard good things. I should see it, but I just never came around to it.
I feel and I call myself a movie toaster.
There we go. Maybe this is something we're gonna sneak out. The poster's ingrained in your head.
I remember
see it in my head.
Yes. Yep, I see the poster. That's a gorgeous poster.
Yeah,
I do.
And I hear it's a gorgeous film. Just wasn't for me, and I was like, I'll skip it. And nowadays, if it came on, I'd be like, I'm going to see it. I don't care to see everything. Yeah. All right. So that's number 5. All right. This one I have not seen. Came out in 2006. Looks like it could be some type of Asian movie. In the Mood for Love. I don't know anything about this one.
I haven't seen it. I remember hearing it's God, whose class was that?
Well, this is interesting here. When I Googled it, it says 2000, but in this article, they have it as 2016. So that's,
I think it got re-released internationally.
That would make sense. It's a Wong Kar-wai movie. Let's see, what's it about? 1962 journalist Chow Man-wan and his wife moved to Hong Kong apartments, but Chow's spouse is often away on business. Before long, the lonely Chow makes the acquaintance of an alluring Susan Lee, who owns a significant. I think I heard about this recently. Like they started like an emotional affair, whereas they think their spouses are having an affair with each other, but theirs is more of a beautiful friendship that blossoms.
And it's if anything, their bond is more the affair than what they're suspecting. Yeah. No, I definitely.
And it looks beautiful and stunning from the pictures I just saw.
Damn it!
This one I should add. I think
that was because we watched. They kept skipping through the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, we're missing such powerful moments. Like, I'm like, I get you're trying to show us specific things. Maybe it was cinematography. I don't. Maybe
that would make sense, I suppose.
Regardless, I do remember hearing about this one. It was intrigued by it, but at the time there wasn't a simple means of getting to watch it. So but
I'm saying if out of 500 plus people say this deserves it, maybe it's worth a watch. This
maybe. For sure. Sure.
All right, now this is another one that was not for me and I skipped. It's a big awards movie that everyone loves. Number 3 clocks in to be There Will Be Blood.
Oh,
not for me. I'm not a big PTA guy.
That was one when it came out, I wasn't into that yet. I wasn't into those movies, and it wasn't like the streamers kind of kicked it around for a while, and then I just got married, and I'm with you in that I didn't see it. So I didn't. I can't have that.
I mean, I get they spoof it all the time. I drink your milkshake bullshit, and just not for me.
This is my boy. What have you done to me?
Yeah. All right, number 2, a movie I only saw recently a few years back that was like, no, not for me. Or maybe I'm thinking this is something else. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Mulholland Drive. Is that the one that what's his face did? What's his face that just died? David, what's his face? I don't know. I'm now looking it up. Okay. Yes. Yeah. It was kind of like,
David Lynch.
It then became a movie. Yeah. David Lynch. I couldn't think of his name. This movie is too weird, too zany, fantastic cast. I don't know. Just not for me, but I get the appeal and allure in it.
I'm kind of curious now after living here. Is it going to be, because I love period piece LA stuff. I love old Hollywood decor.
Well, yeah, this was like
and all of
90s
that.
Hollywood, I think. Yeah.
So it's.
I think
and-
that's why I watched. I'm like, yeah, I've heard so much. I got to check it out. And for me, I was like, this is too. I'm not a big Lynch fan personally.
There's
It's a little
yeah.
too much.
You gotta. I feel like it's like we were saying before. Some films you just kind of have to be in the headspace for, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of David Lynch things you just have to be in that headspace for coming
Mhm.
into it. You got to be in that mood. But when you're in the right mood, it's a great
Sure.
ride. It's just
Heck yeah.
it's not. It's sometimes in the mood for Tropic Thunder. So it's
I'm
a
always
little-
in the mood for Tropic Thunder. Hey, that brings us
Who
number
isn't?
1, Tropic Thunder. I wish.
Yeah. Oh
man.
my god, that'd be great.
I mean, people love it. All right, number 1. All right, I can fuck with this. I've seen this multiple times in theaters. I own it on Blu-ray, and I love it. Parasite.
Oh, wow.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. I agree. That was one I couldn't believe, even when there wasn't dialogue occurring. Just
The visuals.
the tension that could keep building
Mhm.
throughout that whole film was so great. It's
Yeah.
really too bad that I know recent films he hasn't been getting quite the accolades he used to.
But I feel like they've been good. I feel like Mickey 17 didn't get the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
And now it's on Max. Hopefully, I'm hoping people actually.
I got that
in
in the queue. That's
Hey,
high up on the queue.
I love to see what you have to say, but
I
I get it wasn't for everyone. It's a big swing. For me, it worked, but not for a lot of the.
I
other
mean, Robert,
audience
like we were talking about Robert Pattinson earlier,
Pattinson.
he can carry that, like pretty much anything he's in.
And he's great as these multiple characters. Very
Oh,
distinguishable. I
And
don't know.
that's a fun challenge for actors because they get to be
Yes.
a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the top 10 of the top
Interesting.
100. I felt like I like half of them, and half of them I feel like I didn't see, and maybe I should give them a
And I mean,
watch.
it's in your thumbnail that is representative of the list here. I find it interesting because it's like I'm curious where on the list a lot of these are.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
know
if
a lot of
someone
people-
made this and if it has anything to do with the list or if this is someone's
okay.
personal, but all these movies, I'm like, yeah, I get the allure in most
I
of those
think
movies.
I can name 90% of these.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, she next to Denzel Training Day is that
I want to say it's like
Stella got her
for Love
degree.
and Money or Love
Oh,
and Basketball, maybe.
Okay.
Jeez,
The rest
I
are
don't know, I
easy.
could be
The
wrong.
rest are easy, but
Slumdog, Sean.
Super
I
8.
can't tell who that guy is behind. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
anyways,
fun
yeah.
movies. Yeah.
Good
Let
movie.
us know in the comments of wherever you're watching or listening if you agree with the top 10, what your top 10 are. We want to hear
Yeah.
from you.
Top 10 movies from the 2000 of the naughties. Or
I can tell you, I feel like my top 10 probably would not hit any of them. Like they're just ridiculous comedies. But like you said, there's such a wealth of movies. It's hard.
I think it's one of those you really got to go back and look because there's going to
Yeah.
be some of those you're like, oh shit, that's right, this came out this
And
year.
it's funny. Apparently, there's like someone on Instagram or not Instagram, fucking TikTok, who can like tell you like, oh, if your boyfriend like this is their favorite director, your significant other, their favorite director, it's this and that. And Sarah asked me, I'm like, I honestly don't know who my favorite director is. Like, I have some that came and went, some that I feel like were good at one point and kind of went downhill. I can't name my favorite directors. Honestly,
I don't like those very.
I disagree with
singular finalistic. When someone says,
100%.
your all-time favorite movie, your all-time favorite song, your all-time, I'm like, no, I like it depends on.
They're always evolving.
Yeah,
That's like I was
the
listening
mood,
to
you know?
Ike Barinholtz was on a podcast talking about getting to work opposite of Scorsese, and like he did a whole day of work next to him, and he's like, oh yeah, blah 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 is one of your favorite this type of movie, and Scorsese's like, actually I've changed it, it's always changing, it's this movie and it's like, it's Scorsese. I know it's controversial because he looks at cinema different than a lot of people, but the fact that this man is willing to say his taste change, I mean, whose doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I don't think it's fair to pigeonhole anyone's taste into one thing. Not to say some people can. Like, all right, then they can. Good for you. But no, I don't think there's ever a defined. It's always fun to look at lists like these, but they're never defined. You know,
Exactly.
I remember when the college poster days were more popular, and AMC had that poster that was the 100 greatest American movies of all time.
Like
And
the
I'm like,
AFI's top. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, what, really?
all that stuff.
These?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't know about that, but it's
I
always
mean,
an
they
evolving
were
thing. I think this particular frame of time, though, is really
a
kind of
25-year
fun.
gap.
Yeah, because it's so many of these films are influenced by the last, freaking 100 years of filmmaking. So it's you can include a lot of non-novel ideas only because they've had such an original take on how they've shown them to you. So
agreed.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's gonna do it for news. Sorry, that was like I was saying when Dennis went to the restroom a couple of minutes ago. Super long, mega packed news section, but there's a lot to talk about. That I had fun talking to you about it. But let's get into something that we're normally in 40 minutes ago. A little subject called polls. All right, on episode 217, I reviewed the latest Chris Evans movie, Materialists. So I wanted to know which non-MCU or Marvel-related movie is your favorite of Chris Evans out of Knives Out, Gifted, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Not Another Teen Movie.
Ooh.
Kind of obscured, some of them, but I don't know. A little bit varying.
I haven't seen Gifted. Not Another Teen Movie was never really my bag. But I feel like it's funny is I feel like Knives Out and Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the characters aren't terribly different. It's just how he gets to portray them.
Yeah. Yeah, like one's more
really fun,
He gets to be an asshole.
They're both
rich,
egotistical assholes.
But one's kind of a serious one, and one's kind of like a goofy, jokey, sloppy.
I'm gonna skateboard fucking board slide up to you before I punch you in the face.
Which I guess you could kind of relate to the Not Another Teen Movie jock character that he played.
Okay.
But,
Interesting.
Gifted. Gifted is, if you haven't seen it, it's a fantastic movie. A story has been done a million times before. Essentially, a guy, a bachelor, living his life, loving it. Ends up his brother or sister die, and he gets stuck with his niece. But his niece is really smart, and he's kind of raising her. And it's really beautiful movie.
You toasted this one, right?
Yeah, I think so, man. The young McKenna Grace, his niece, fantastic movie.
My God.
He gets to be serious. Well worth it if you get a chance to check it out.
Yeah. No, I remember your review. I remember watching the trailer for this. This did look really good.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, that's my choice. I haven't seen it yet, but I bet you that's
no.
I bet you that's the best.
It doesn't. Honestly, for me, like that, I feel like is most hardest working out of these. But I love Scott Pilgrim.
Of course.
I think I'm gonna go Scotty Pilgrim. All right, so the toasties have spoken. 0% are on your side here, Dennis. Not Another Teen Movie didn't scratch the surface.
It had its place in time, though. I get it.
It did. I remember, I think freshman year, I rewatched it. I'm like, this is not as good as I recall. But it's one of those movies that you gotta know is of its time. And there were a lot of teen movies back then. All right. So that leaves 20% for Scott Pilgrim versus the World. All right.
Well,
so
it's not the movie, it's his performance. So
that's true. He's not as big in the movie. He's just a side character. He's one of the evil exes.
Exactly.
All right. And that leaves 40% for Gifted. So some people are on my side. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
But that also leaves 40% for Knives Out.
Oh, nice.
So,
there's such an ensemble of fantastic performers. It's easy to kind of get lost in the menagerie happening here because everyone's really good.
Yep.
Tough call, but I can kind of I get why there's the tie because Knives Out is just a fun story across the board. Just going on the journey is great. So
now I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to put my little movie where I got to bond with Chris for a couple of weeks on here, but nobody's ever heard of it. So I'm like,
go faster.
Gonna put it on there.
Go. Just go. Fuck it.
No. It wasn't. Well, there was a little bit of that. More of turn left on this right, on this left-hand red light on fucking Mulholland Drive.
That's right.
I do it all the time. Well, you're fucking Captain America. You can do it.
Yeah,
I'm just the guy
Captain
who's gonna
America
get
gets
ticketed.
and not in a Toyota Corolla or what was were you driving at the time?
Yeah, probably a Corolla back then.
Yeah,
most
yeah, yeah.
likely. Yeah. But
Holding
hey, I got on top. Last thing we said,
Hell
he
yeah.
asked if I was going to the rap party. He offered to do shots with me. Sure, we didn't do it, but if that's how it
man.
ends, I'll take that as a victory
You know what?
in my book.
If that's your parting conversation, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Fuck yeah. All right. On episode 217, I also reviewed the latest Pixar movie, Elio. So I wanted to know what the Toasties' favorite Pixar movie was out of the following. I'm talking about Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, and WALL-E.
Toy Story all day. It's still.
I'm with you 100%. I'm not gonna lie. Finding Nemo I like, but I didn't love as much as others. Ratatouille,
it's a heartwarming story.
It's a little overrated.
I love food stuff, and Patton Oswalt's great too.
Oh yeah, a little darker.
The message
and
of
WALL-E I like,
but
I it's
like
just not happening. A lot. Yeah.
But goddamn it,
we're living it kind of.
Adam, you've got a friend in me.
All right, let's find out if the Toasties agree with us. 17% for Finding Nemo. You know, honestly, I like Finding Dory more, which is weird.
Oh,
which I feel like most people didn't like Finding Dory. Anywho, that doesn't matter. 17 for Ratatouille. I know I say it wrong. Other people say it like with the more flair.
Ratatouille.
I don't know how they say it, but I say it
you
wrong.
Know, I always think it's funny when people don't realize it's an actual dish.
Yes,
like, it is a. It's a dish.
Yeah,
it's zucchini and
17 for WALL-E, and 49% for Toy Story.
Yes!
How do we not? I'm happy. The Toasties are finally on our side. Both polls, people agreed with us.
There's a reason why they're trying to make a fifth one. You know,
yes,
like they're always going to be chasing what the beautiful gem that is Toy Story that still stands up today, that kids still recognize and still watch.
Mm-hmm. Marketability, merchandise, all of it.
The story, the acting, the voice acting is great. It's like you said, the relatability. There's always going to be that era of crossing over from fictitious imaginary play into setting that aside for more real world tactile things. And I think it's a beautiful coming of age story that touches on very heavy subjects. And they put all of those worlds together in such a perfect balance.
And it's funny, most of the time, most of us forget until we've rewatched the movie. In the original, Woody was kind of a villain. He treated Buzz like an asshole for no reason. And he was he caused all these issues. And then once they worked together in the sequels, it jives so well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen I'm with you. Toy Story 2 is still a great film.
Oh, I love it. I remember seeing it opening day, man. Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I mean, I remember seeing an IMAX at City Walk, Toy Story 3 opening night. How do you top that? And then they make 4, and it's like, that doesn't top it, but it's good entry.
We didn't.
But where do you go with 5?
We saw that together.
I think so. 3? I think we saw it.
And Furtado.
Antonio. Oh, okay. I thought I was going to say.
You know what? You might have gone back to see it again because that's where I saw 3 the first time. I just remember the lights coming up, and it was like Val was sitting to one side, and it was like Furtado or me, Furtado, and you, and all of us were just like just holding back tears because the end of that was
dude,
so
that fucking
powerful.
Brave Little Toaster style ending. Oh my God,
Christ.
man. And even just watching Andy get those toys away, it's like,
which was more gut wrenching? Succumbing to death or surrendering your childhood, knowing this the next generation is going to benefit from the things you value most. You know,
and it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm at my childhood home. Like, I have a bunch of toys that I should throw up, and I'm like, why? I mean,
fuck no.
I don't know.
I'm 35 years old. I still have my childhood teddy bear tucked away in our bedroom right now. It's just,
there we go.
It's
and speaking of Toy Story, I remember on your birthday, didn't you and Furtado and Val go see Toy Story 3D re-release a couple back in like 20?
That's what I think that's what I'm remembering because it was on City Walk also.
I wasn't there for that.
Okay, my mistake. My mistake.
You piece of shit.
In my heart, you were there.
Fuck you. All right, let's move on to reviews.
There was a good chance I did, folks. Let's be honest.
You might have.
Adam was a popular man. He was a popular man.
Don't lie. I'm seeing 3 movies a week. I'm not popular. I'm sad.
We went to film school. Everyone was seeing movies. every week.
Fair enough.
Except for the
Fair enough.
actual cool kids, but
Yeah. All right. Well, anywho, let's get into the main thrust of the show, man.
Yeah.
Something called reviews.
Ice camera action, it's review time. Dennis and Adam, we gon' blow your mind. We're stepping up to the plate, ready to swing. Analyzing movies like a scientist would brain.
All right. This one I'm kind of excited to see your take on a
Yes.
movie that I watched unbeknownst to you watching it, and we're gonna kind of tag team it, but I'll let you take
Hell
the
yeah.
lead here.
Thank you for the permission. I'm talking about newly released to the streaming service Hulu, California King. So this is a fun little comedy starring Travis Taco Bennett, Jimmy Tatro, Joel McHale, and the lovely Victoria Justice.
Or
telling
maybe
the
not so
story-
lovely in this movie.
Well, don't tip the hand.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Sorry. She did a great performance.
I agree. Anyways, we've got Taco up here. I just love that this is Taco. Holy shit.
Who's Taco?
Travis Bennett has evolved into such a great performer. I was a big fan of like Loiter Squad. He was
Okay.
He rolled with that crew. Like
See, it's
20
it's interesting. I never
20
watched
years
that,
ago.
and I'm like, I know people seem to know him, and apparently he's a rapper too. I know him from he's on
Yes.
the show Dave, which is about Little Dickie's rise to fame, and I'm like, oh wow,
It's all the
I was
odd-
excited to see him for that.
Odd Future. He was a part of that crew.
Huh.
So he was in
and
with
Jimmy
Tyler the
Tate-
Creator.
yeah. I love
See,
Jimmy Tatro.
I wasn't familiar with him, but I am a fan of his now. I could
Do
easily
yourself a favor. He was in a fantastic mockumentary series, crime documentary series spoof called American Vandal on Netflix about this like penis bandit. He was in that. He was fantastic, and he's done some other good things. But sorry,
Nice. Okay.
I diverse.
Odd. No worries.
And
So it's telling the story of a mattress store manager who's lived his life in this small town in quote unquote California, Utah. But I'm sorry, you can look at the trees. It's not fucking California. Anyways, that was my first gripe. It's just like, okay, this obviously isn't
chill,
California.
Dennis, chill. It's a movie.
But it's small town mattress store owner. He's carved his little piece out of where he's saved enough money. He's bought the store, runs it himself with his childhood best friend, and his crush from school still lives in town. He has these long-standing dreams of, I'm going to get the girl, buy the house, and live a happy, peaceful, quiet life. And realizes like the girl of his dreams is moving away. I need to win her affection somehow. And his best friend decides, hey, let's fake kidnapping her shitty ass younger brother.
Why not?
Get him in on it, and we make it look like you're the hero, and then you'll win her heart. Meanwhile, we have a whole drug ring story thing happening with Joel McHale, because the first thing I think of when I think of Joel McHale is being in charge of a fucking drug biker gang.
He's a big baddie here, folks.
Yeah. So this is it's kind of, we come up with this terrible plan. He goes along with it, and we're just falling into a deeper and deeper pit, as you can imagine, as we go along, as well as comedy ensuing. I have to say, out the gate, I was impressed with. I liked the dialogue and the banter between our main two characters.
They were good
have
together.
Such a wonderful camaraderie, and it felt like they were childhood friends. The way they could talk back and forth, the kind of cadence they had, the jokes that were playing on screen, both visual, verbal. It was a very nice, steady flow. I thought a lot of the cinematography was nothing terribly eye-catching, but it kept you in a very realistic sense of the scene. You were just kind of right there with them all the time. Victoria Justice playing the girl of his dreams sort of thing. I kind of like this rough around the edges. You're like, oh, she's so pretty, and she's gonna be, and then she just starts, that whole scene with the car, her blazer breaking down, just you fucking piece of shit, just and
trying to return a mattress that's clearly used and an item they don't even sell at the store, but she knows
you've
the
got
guy has a crush.
the new sheriff in town just looking at him, looking at her, like, really? Okay, well, whatever. You clearly are too infatuated with this girl. I thought it was a a fun ride of going down something that's somewhat familiar. We've seen
Yeah.
elements of the story before, for sure, but I feel like we've never quite seen them in the semblance. And then for a surprisingly small amount of money, you can see how they were accomplishing a lot of these goals, especially when it turns out the film was made several years ago. Most of it was shot several years ago. And it wasn't until recently that the rest of it got finished and assembled. And this is why we're getting it now. This honestly played like a movie I kind of wish I could help make, in that
it's on that level of like, I could work on this.
Yeah. You could see everyone that was working on it was dedicated to what they're doing. You had some funny visual gags. It was light in what few special effects there weren't really like, didn't carry the story or anything. It was just there, but they had some really cool shot. Like I love the shot when they found the scooters and they're coming down the highway and you got that wide, like you had these very just kind of heartwarming moments that you had with your friends, you know, like you've, as ridiculous as the story is, you've lived maybe one or two of these moments if you came from a smaller town. Like I liked that it felt like that. Our main three, Justice, Bennett, and Tatro, do such a great job. And I'm sorry, I got to come out and say, I'm not generally a big fan of Joe McHale.
Oh, I'm not with you. Fuck you. I am a big fan of Joe McHale, man, and that's the reason I wanted to see this. I remember he tweeted, put out a post on Instagram when it released in theaters, wasn't playing anywhere near me. So when I saw it was hitting Hulu, I'm like, I'm checking it out. And then I found out he was like the villain. He didn't work in this movie for me. I don't buy him as this big badass guy or this very scary guy.
It's hard for me to buy him in most character.
Yeah,
I never got into Community. I'm sure he does a lot better in there.
You're missing out.
I'm sure. I won't deny that. I'm just saying,
but it's not for everyone. I get it.
But no. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. It doesn't mean I won't. I might like it.
And your wife's in a couple of episodes, sir. Come on.
She is. Yeah. But point being, whenever I see him pop up in movies where he's usually a supporting character, he's kind of always the same thing. And I feel like I saw the same guy here again. Kind of a douchebag asshole. And I'm kind of tired of just seeing the same flat-noted character that we just put a cowboy hat on him and gave him a gun, and he's just magically supposed to be the head of a drug-dealing biker gang, which even then, the other components of the gang are kind of goofy, ridiculous.
Misfits.
But the whole movie's kind of goofy misfits. So that part of it I can kind of forgive while I'm steering. Like, I want to get back to the other scheme that's unfolding over here. Even the younger brother, I thought he was funny.
Oh,
Rock McKinney,
that was good stuff,
hilarious.
Especially him hanging out with his friends when they went to kidnap him. And the comedy that ensues.
You're the dildo that's trying to fuck my sister. I just love that was how he taught. Like, that was great.
and the fact that this movie is an hour and 26 minutes, not even 90 minutes.
Oh,
it take too long. You're kind of in, you're kind of out. It doesn't fully drag. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like you like this movie a little more than I did, but there's definitely something here for everyone, I think.
Yeah. I want to give some props to Brianna Price as the incoming sheriff. I think she
fantastic,
did a good job
underutilized a bit.
Playing exactly. I think we needed more of her. I would like to have seen, but I get it because you can't tip the hat too soon. I like that Bennett's character is the smartest person in town. Like it's
still not fully all there.
He succumbs to his emotions. When he can set the emotions aside, because I think that's the turning point and the final reveal of the film I really enjoyed, because I thought you think you know where it's going coming. Yeah.
And then it subverts it a bit. It does and doesn't happen. You
kind of get an Orient Express, and I loved that. I was just like, oh shit, okay.
Not an Agatha Christie, but an Orient Express. I like that, man. I very specific.
Oh yeah, because it's I just like the way. So yeah, I guess however anyone enjoyed it, I enjoyed what I watched here. I had a good time. You could watch it on Hulu. I'm gonna give California King 3 slices.
Okay, not bad. I'm gonna give California King 2 slices. So we're kind of close, a little apart, but hey, definitely worth checking out if you got an hour and 26 minutes to kill and you're looking for something different. All right.
Sorry,
I'm gonna take.
I'm writing the slices down. I apologize.
Yeah, but normally we can see you doing it, but not with your avatar.
Yeah, I'm not.
That should be your avatar, you with a little notebook.
Right.
So we always know what's happening.
Little
All right,
Spider-Man
I'm going to
notebook.
switch things up a bit. I'm going with the sequel here. I'm going with Megan 2.0. All right, now, if you know this show and you followed it, I saw Megan when it came out, and I tore it apart. I thought it was terrible. I have gone on the cross by saying it's a pointless, shitty movie, but I was going to see this movie because I see everything. And before I did that, I said, let me give Megan another watch and see if I can tolerate it. And honestly, not as bad as I recall. It was better than I recall it being. But this movie is a little bit different. This is a change up in style. This takes place in real time. Spoilers. Megan essentially was murdered at the end of the last movie, and happy-go-lucky things ensued for our heroines. But in this movie, it picks up with this military-type AI robot-type Megan character who essentially has the frame and kind of everything that made Megan, except this one is a little more deadly. And it's kind of gone rogue, and it now is trying to end the world and trying to destroy the human race. And the only thing that can stop her is Megan. So Megan has to get made again, but made in an upgrade to stop the evil Amelia, who is out causing havoc in the world. And this is less of a Child's Play 2 and more of a Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It's a tonal shift. Not a lot of people like that. I applaud it. I really dug it because Blumhouse does something that other movie studios don't do. Once again, with Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You, it went from a slasher movie to a sci-fi movie.
Right.
And they did that type of thing here. It went from a slasher kind of doll killing movie to a kind of espionage spy action sci-fi movie. And I
turning
like
the film on its head through into a different genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what I didn't like, they tried taking advantage of the memeability because the first one was giantly memed and they leaned into everything people loved, but they went too far with it. And we're getting most of the returning cast that are characters that are still alive, and we got some new characters added here. And one of them I love is like this tech billionaire guy played by Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, and his character's fun. The movie itself, it's a plot we've seen a million times before for the most part. It's slightly predictable. There's some twists, there's some turns. I liked it more than Megan, but apparently the world doesn't, because this movie was a giant flop for Blumhouse. And I do applaud Jason Blum. Most people will defend themselves and blame other people. He went on a podcast and essentially that Monday he called up Matt Bellany of the town and said, hey, I want to come on and talk about the fact that this movie flopped and explain why it flopped. And he took full responsibility when he was given out of marketing and the studio, Universal. He's like, no, I made a mistake. I learned from it. It's nobody. We're all a group. We were thinking this was going to be as big as Superman. Could this little movie take down F1? And unfortunately, it didn't. And I'm like, more people should take a lesson from him. I'm with you there, dude.
I love, because I was going to say, I assumed you were going to get to this point, but I wanted to comment on this part too. I read that same quote, and hats off to him. Own it. Like, just it's fine. You're allowed to release a flop once in a while, but don't damn everyone else. Don't damn the cast or the writers. Just like, we let this one go and it didn't. Turns out the audience doesn't want the people who liked the first one. Turns out they don't want to see a completely different movie with the same character. Yeah. And fair enough. I own that, man.
True.
Good for you.
I get it. I understand 100%. But for me, it worked. But like I said, I wasn't the biggest Megan fan.
Exactly.
And a change up kind of worked in my favor. And I like this genre a little bit more than just slashy, cheeky horror movies. But I don't know. It was kind of fun. It was intriguing. I had a good time watching it. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get another Megan movie, but they have already made a spinoff in the world that's coming out soon. In a different spin. I think it's called Soulmate. That's kind of coming out in probably next year, I assume. So I'm intrigued to see what that's like and if it totally links up to this movie or not. I'm going to give Megan 2.0 2.0 slices of toast. 2 slices, just right down the middle.
Fair enough.
Not too bad a movie. Speaking of twos, you have a sequel that was following up a superhero movie that you dug from 2020, I think.
Now, Doug is a strong word. It was. I want to say my review for The Old Guard was maybe a 2.5. It was decent. It was one I remember specifically
Fair
citing.
enough.
I liked the concept, and it was clear this came from a graphic novel because you had a rich backstory, and I loved that setup. I love this idea of a timeless warrior that has they've helped shape the events of human history, and this is what has led us to The Old Guard 2.
Uh-oh.
So our main character, Andy, played by Charlize Theron, she has lost her immortality through a sacrifice she believed through something that occurred in the first film, only to find out really it was because the last member to be inducted into their little team, Niall, because she's the youngest, newest one, she actually possesses the ability to take your immortality away.
Oh,
so the setup here
interesting.
is we have a mysterious, the oldest of the Old Guard, the original, the founding one.
The bride?
The bride herself, Uma Thurman, who plays a character named Discord. At least this is what she goes by now. And all I can think of is the fucking gaming chat platform.
Yeah, that's where my mind went.
Right. Log into Discord. She has resurfaced. Most don't even realize she exists. And she's raising an army, including Andy's old fame, Quinn, who was damned to the ocean. She was locked into a coffin, thrown to the bottom of the sea, and has literally been drowning in the ocean for 500 years.
That's
so given
crazy.
the nature. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the first film, in the second one, if you're not familiar with their powers and such, she's just spent 500 years drowning, dying, coming back to life, drowning again, just in a horrific repeating pattern. Yeah, it's such a gnarly opening to the character. It's I kind of like the idea too, because it shapes a villain. This is really what sets up what any standard villain you get in a film. But our story takes a turn here. We're trying to get the old band back together. We realize we have this ancient villain that we now need to answer to, and we have to rise to the occasion. Like they're committing horrible acts, except we only see them commit one horrible act. We see like 3 fight scenes.
Cop out. Ooh.
This is,
and I hear the final fight scene is essentially in
the trailer,
a studio almost, like just like an empty fucking hollowed out area for the most part.
Oh, it's an exterior to the second to last like location.
Okay, I thought it was like a soundstage. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, it is.
I'm gonna let you talk. You watched the movie.
Yeah, I did. I mean, technically,
you did it so no one else had to.
Technically, it does look like a soundstage. Yes, I would agree. That's what it looks like. But like an almost empty soundstage, as you said. But the location in the context of the film is the exterior for this place. Anyways, really doesn't matter because this movie sucks. What I will give it, the action, just like the first one, looks awesome.
Nice.
Charlize Theron has not slowed down in her ability to sell a fucking fight scene, as well as everyone else in the cast. They're all really great at selling a fight scene. We don't get enough of them, though. Like, it's for the whole point of this thing being this, we spend a lot of time talking about it.
I felt like that was one of my biggest flaws with the first one. I'm like, there wasn't enough action for a big action superhero
It didn't
movie.
get better, and I think that's why my scale dipped. If I gave the last one a 2.5, this one dipped a little bit more in that. And it's just because for an hour 48, I think is what it ran.
That's a roughie.
It went on so long for the next thing to happen. And even her iconic, the axe, you only see it in a couple scenes. And it's really just, I will be surprised. I know, I remember reading, I think when the first one came out, they greenlit a second and third one. I'd be surprised if they even make the third one.
Well, I think this movie was completed like 3 years ago, so they've been sitting on it. I don't think they have any faith in this franchise.
I got to be honest, seeing Uma Thurman come back, flexing the bride muscles again was pretty awesome.
That was when I did the trailer reaction. I was like, oh, I'd watch it just for her. But like you said, there's not enough happening to
You know,
justify.
I'm gonna spoiler alert. You only get to see her fight like once. It's
Bullshit.
and it's just this is the classic mistake for these. We just found out we're gonna make it into a trilogy sort of bullshit movies.
Hold her off as the next villain.
The entire second. No, she is the main villain throughout this whole movie.
Okay.
But the entire Old Guard 2 is just to set up a third film.
That's own your own movie.
Yeah.
Don't expect a third movie.
For almost 2 hours of film, you get like a third of a story. And that is my biggest gripe. The only thing that carries this is the action when it occasionally happens. There's some, like they said, there's some cool stuff. There's a couple cool chases. The opening scene, they're taking down this terrorist dude. It's really cool, especially knowing Andy's lost her immortality, so she's taking the same risks. She's even saying the same shit. Just I lead the charge. I'm the one that goes in first, and she
like has the death wish. It sounds like
she's got dudes pulling guns on her, and she's still taking them down with and weapons from the environment. And it looks so
all
cool.
You're saying, like the villainess being submerged in water for 500 years, her going, fighting, doing what's right, not having the immortality, all that sounds like it should lead up to a fantastic, fun, action-packed movie.
And those parts are really cool. And then you just have these lulls that just drag. So it's like there's parts I really liked, and there's parts I really didn't. So it balanced out to something really weird. So I'm going to give The Old Guard 2 on Netflix, available now. I'll give it 2 slices. It's probably super generous, but it was also like,
sounds generous.
I would really like to highlight when the action kicks on, it's cool. They do cool shit. How do you bring down an immortal person? Well, I saw some shit in this one I never would have thought of. This is how you capture an immortal human being. This is what you have to do just to get him to put him the fuck down, because you can't kill him, obviously. Cool. So there's so many cool elements. It's just they're spread out so far. Cut 20 minutes out, leave everything else in, you'd be fine. I would probably have given it 2.5 slices.
Yeah.
At least match the first one, but yeah, it's still a middle of the road action movie. If you like, I would still say go back to, well, we'll get to that later. Never mind.
All right. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say about whatever that is. I have a movie that is exponentially longer than that. That's not a word. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I have another long movie. 2 hours and 35 minutes. I'm talking about F1, the movie. All right. Now, let me start off. I don't care about racing. The only 3 racing I care about is pod racing, Mario Kart racing, and go-kart racing. But I see movies, so I had to see this one. So essentially, you got the director behind Top Gun Maverick doing a similar thing here with Brad Pitt. So Brad Pitt plays a character named Sonny Hayes. He was once a very fantastic racer. Something terrible happened to him, and he just can't give up the race. So he kind of goes from town to town, and people will turn to him to come in and kind of bring their kind of floundering race team and revive it.
He's like,
and he comes for a season. They want him to stay, but he's like, I got to move on to the next town. And then his old racing opponent and friend, played by Javier Bardem, hunts him down. And he's like, hey, man, I have this F1 team, and we've never won a race. And if I don't win one of the next 10 races, my board of trustees is going to essentially take the team away from me, and I'm going to be out money in the team. I need your help. Come and do this for me. And he's like, I don't race F1. But of course, he shows up. And of course, there's a hot shot racer on the team who doesn't play by any rules. He thinks he knows it all. And then you got the old guy coming in being like, no, man, you just got to play by your own rules. Do what you need to do. And we see this young hotshot played by Damson Idris. Joshua Pierce is his name. And he uses all technology to exercise and get his heartbeat. But you see Brad Pitt out touching gravel on the tracks we're going to race on and running laps and just kind of changing the morale of the team. And where the team kind of flounders, he finds loopholes to make the team get a little better. He plays a little dirtier than most people, but he gets results. And he starts changing the way of the team. And will he win over the heart of his cohort? And at the same time, he starts a little romantic fling with a Carrie Condon's character, who kind of like is in charge of making race cars. So essentially, it's about this old washed up guy coming in and revitalizing this F1 team and finding passion again and reuniting the sport. It's kind of touching. It's beautiful. It's high octane. Dude, I saw this in IMAX, and by God, it looked beautiful because they're going to the real racetracks. You're on the fucking tracks. You're in the car, even though listening to Pitt, they didn't film in an F1 car. They filmed in a different one, but they went in and put the audio from F1 cars and stuff. But I don't know. But I had no interest in it. But by God, it won me over, man. The sounds, the sights, knowing that these two are actually behind the wheel doing this stuff. The characters are rich. Yeah, it's a story we've seen done a million times before, but not to this extent. I really, really enjoyed it. And by God, tons of product placement, but it makes sense to have product placement.
It's motorsport.
Yeah. And
it just sounds like pure pornography, dude. I just love
it. Dude, I was sitting there like, this is a Dennis movie. Dennis needs to see this in a theater. God. Like, you love the Ford v Ferrari audio. Yeah. Like, the sound mixing in this is fantastic. The score is great. The soundtrack's great. The acting is superb. This Damson Idris, the other racer, fantastic young actor. I see him going places. Awesome. Javier Bardem is charming. Carrie Condon is fantastic. Brad Pitt is spry as ever. This man is 61, and I'm just blown away. Yeah,
that guy is just an anomaly of human beings. That's so awesome.
For a movie that is 2 hours and 35 minutes, there is never a dull moment. It doesn't drag. It doesn't dip. It just goes, and I'm like, by God, I hope this never ends. Honestly, I saw this. I think it was a 10:30 showing, so it started around 11. And normally when I'm doing like a double or triple feature and there's a movie that late, I'm cocked out. I'm losing my mind a bit. I was wide awake and just fucking on edge, jilted, ready to go, loving life after walking out of this movie. And I'm gonna give F1 3.5 slices of toast. I had a blast watching.
Yeah, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I appreciate. I'm glad to hear that. I've been looking forward to this so bad. Folks, I was just telling Adam, this is one I'm gonna try to sneak away during the week, during the day to see this without any interference from other moviegoers, because I just want to
remember that. We're now at the point where Tuesdays and Wednesdays are like going to be half off tickets at AMC's. So
very true.
Chance to take advantage of
local chains
of seeing it either IMAX, Dolby, the two I would suggest, or I think our buddy Max Bellamy saw it in 40X. So you get that real shaking if you went to the right cinema. But I'd see it on the biggest, loudest screen you can, man.
Fuck yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I've been looking forward to this for like a year. So I'm so happy to hear that's your reaction.
And just listening to Pitt talk about them making it, they went to real races and they had a very finite amount of time to do it. They had like 5 minutes before or in between races. And like, he's like, I stood up amongst like the ranks of like actual racers.
Some of the
like,
greatest drivers.
And I felt like a big phony. I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. And a lot of these people, I don't follow it, but there's real racers in this movie.
I was gonna say Lewis Hamilton is in the movie, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's arguably one of the greatest drivers of all time. And if you watch some of his races, you see why that guy, you would say kid, but it's been a while. That guy is such an incredible talent. And then to hear him be like, oh yeah, this movie's great. It's like,
and it's funny listening to Brad Pitt talk, like how I said they didn't film it in F1 and they had to put sounds in. Like, I don't know if it was Lewis Hamilton or another F1 racer who was kind of like a consultant would come into the edit mix and be like, oh, this isn't right. This is you shifting into this gear opposed to where your character is shifting to this gear. So they really went into the finite detail to make it as realistic as possible.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. That is fantastic.
I don't think you're going to disappoint.
You warmed my heart. I am so excited for this. I know it's one of those weird sports that like so many people can have strong opinions about, but I love that when a movie depicts it right, or at least tries to represent it in this sort of light, this is what so many people feel when they watch it. So that's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, I even go back to the shitty Sylvester Stallone movie, Driven. I loved that movie as a kid. I wore that VHS tape out when that came out. So I'm always chasing that feeling of watching something that makes me feel like you're back in the driver's seat again. And this sounds like the next one.
I think you're gonna dig it. Yeah,
badass, dude.
Fudge, yeah. Well, you got something that I also watched, but I'm gonna let you take the reins of this next one. I'm intrigued to see your take of it.
No, it's all good. I would like to hear you dive in as we go along, but this is a fun little romp available on Prime Video at the moment, starring a couple of big actors. I think we talked about both of them already today. Heads of State, starring John Cena and Idris Elba, co-starring Priyanka Chopra, Jack Quaid, and Carla Gugino. And I'd also like to mention Paddy Considine. How do you say his name?
We just talked about him on episode 2.
Love that guy. Last episode. Yes. Oh, love that guy.
In the movie Deep Cover. When I saw him, like, is that? Oh wow, he's having a good renaissance, man.
Right.
I think it's that
the same thing. I'm like, oh,
hey, effect.
Thank God he's catching that wave. Get on it, man. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the game so long.
We have John Cena playing the president of the United States, of course. I love that he's a former
action
film
superstar.
Action superstar. Yes. It's so ironic. I love that they're just being very upfront about what we're doing here. And as well as Idris Elba playing Sam Clark, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and who is not a fan of a movie star, action star actor being the leader of the other half of the free world, essentially. And they don't get along, and it's clear.
No.
Unfortunately, a horrific terrorist attack occurs while they're aboard Air Force One and get shot out of the sky. And now we got to do everything we can to survive, only to be saved by Priyanka Chopra Jones,
who we thought was dead.
And to be honest, is kind of the biggest badass in the whole movie.
Dude,
I got to give her some props.
Her
that
and Jack Quaid stole their movie. I want movies of these two characters, man. She was fan-fucking-tastic. I've seen her in other things. And I'm like, she's okay. But in this, she owned her scenes.
Oh, my God, yes. No, I totally agree. We already know, like I said, Jack Quaid, we know he can do action, but I feel like we don't see him do this.
Yes.
Just bloody-nosed
like,
version
falls
of
out
it
crazy.
Often. Yeah. Priyanka, I clearly have not seen enough of her, or she just finally got to get that role that's like, she got to be such a badass. It was so
a little bit of comedy, a little bit of romance.
Yes. A lot of comedy. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
This is one of those, it's a comedy action, not an action comedy, so to speak. Where yes, we get the big explosions and everything, but the comedy leads the first step forward throughout the entire film. Our action classics up front, though, John Cena and Idris Elba, I do like that we kind of have a flop of characters where Idris is kind of the action taker and John is the one getting hit in the face and doesn't know what to do in the moment and is just going.
Even though he thinks he's more action packed, he sees a gun, he picks it up, but he doesn't really know how to do it. And the more subtle, quiet guy, Idris Elba, knows how to use these weapons a little better than him.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, that's he has the military experience where one pretended to have military experience.
And I like the way they both look at life. Like Idris Elba's character is like, fuck people. People kind of suck. Not exactly that, but he's a little more jaded. Where John Cena's like, no, you just got to look at the good of people, and they both kind of rub off on each other one way or another.
Exactly. There is a fun that balance they're trying to strike. It's very like elementary in how we get there, and it's, well, you like blue, well, I like red. Well, I guess we'll just have to figure out how to get in. It's very simplistic in that regard, but much like the old guard, the action shines through. But what this one does better, obviously, is the comedy, and it's the chemistry between the cast from beginning to end that part is very entertaining. The part that I just was very like the bummer was the actual like the story and the writing. There was elements
we've seen the
where-
story done before, and the
my
execution is just kind of
God.
mediocre.
Yes, I totally agree. And to be honest, I really feel bad for Carla Gugino because talented performer is
Mhm.
dealt kind of the worst hand in the movie. in that
Yeah.
she doesn't really get to flex nearly as much as everyone else. And
Mhm.
when let's be honest, the sad excuse for the twist occurs, it's like we've been seeing it
You
coming
see it,
for
the
at least
ratings on the wall.
half an hour at least. It's but that's not what we're here for. So
No.
it's really about the action and the comedy, and I think it delivers in spades. I just wish they spent a little more time on figuring out how we got there. The journey itself, it could have been a little sharper. I especially given the talent, we could have given them a little bit more chance to shine and not try to inject these like political moments. Well, not political like current topical, but like how things function and we must now retreat to the thing because this is like all those steps just really unnecessary. I'm yeah.
And it's interesting, when I saw the trailer and saw the name of the director, I got excited because the director of this directed the Bob Odenkirk movie I really dug, the John
Nobody.
Wick kind of ripoff, Nobody. And I love that movie. And that had the perfect amount of comedy, action, and it merged well together in a good story. And this, not so much on par with Nobody.
What I'm curious is, are there too many good parts in this film we were trying to take advantage of that we drowned out the talent of all of these good performers? Whereas something like Nobody, although I'll be honest, I haven't seen yet, where you can focus, you can hone in on our selection of cast, let them shine, and then we get what we came here for. Whereas I feel like Heads of State, it was spread a little too thin, even though we had a bigger budget.
But I will say, like you said, the breakout, Nick Jonas's wife and Jack Quaid, but just watching Cena and Elba reunite, they were both in James Gunn's Suicide movie.
Yes.
The two have a magnanimous bond with one another, and they play so well off one another in a big bad way.
It just reaffirms my faith in both of those. I mean, really, it's all the main cast of this.
Yes.
I want to see more of you now because you've all proven. I mean, we knew this, like you said, we knew this about Alba and Cena, but everyone, either you've proven, the funny people have proven they can be more actiony. The actiony people have proven they could be even more funny.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of that. I just don't think it's quite as polished as it could have been for me personally.
Could have done another pass, maybe another edit.
Yeah. Shaved a few minutes off, tighten it up.
I'm not gonna lie, when I watched it, I was getting this stream ready, and I'm like, you know what? I did something I normally don't do. I'm like, I'm gonna stop the movie and I'm just gonna dedicate time to watch the movie uninterrupted. And then once I watched it, I'm like, I probably could have done a little bit of work while I was watching this one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I not have missed too much.
I mean, to be entirely honest, 100%. You could just listen along to a lot of the film.
But it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah. Exactly.
It just wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yes. So I think, you ready to slice it, my man?
Yeah, let's slice it up.
All right. I'm going to give Heads of State 2.5 slices. I think it's well worth a watch. I think you will have some fun with it, but you're never going to watch it again. And if they make a sequel, I don't know if I'm ever going to be in a rush to see it because I think you've shown me everything you can do. Will I watch this cast together in something else? Yes. I enjoyed this collection of performers. I think you have elements of something great. I just don't think this was the story to portray it. And yeah. What about you, man?
Well, I'm going to piggyback on what you said. I'll give it 2.5. I agree with almost everything, but I will say if there is a sequel, I'll watch it because why not?
I mean, let's be honest. I'd watch a sequel. I
wouldn't the old guard.
I wouldn't
too,
be exactly. I wouldn't be. I would hope they figured out more of the things. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll see. I feel like these movies could go either way. Normally, when we like something, it doesn't get a sequel. We hate something, it does get a sequel.
Right.
So time will tell how this
Classic
actually does.
movie,
It just
just the
came out.
case.
So, yeah. Well, I got a sequel to round up the show here. Dennis, I have the latest entry into the Jurassic saga.
There it is.
Not going to say Park or World. I'm talking Jurassic World Rebirth. All right. So this movie, I had hope, man. I dug Jurassic World, the first one. Not so much the 2 sequels, but this one is kind of, Rebirth is in the title, rebootish. And it was written by the original writer of Jurassic Park. So I had some hope. And Gareth Edwards directed this, and I like his movies, and I like the cast. We have Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Rupert Friend, Ed Serkin, and a couple other faces. So the plot, simple. This takes place years after the last movie. Dinosaurs, nobody cares about them. They're kind of roaming the world, and they're kind of dying. And there's only a certain area where dinosaurs tend to live now and thrive. And we essentially start up the movie by seeing this kind of guy who works for a company that's making a new medicine that can cure so many diseases and change everyone's lives. And the only catch is they need to get 3 blood samples from 3 very specific dinosaurs on an island that essentially had all these dinosaurs on it, and the whole world has barred all travel to the place. And they go to a mercenary played by Scarlett Johansson to help get these essentially blood samples. And there's this scientist who loves dinosaurs, and he's helping them out, and he's brought along on the journey. And they go on this quest. They charter a boat from Scarlett's old friend, who's played by Mahershala, and there's a whole bunch of mercenaries going out there, so everything should be safe. But on the flip side, this kind of plays as a dual movie here. We have a father and his 2 daughters, one a young daughter, one a daughter who's about to go off to college, and her boyfriend are just taking a sailing trip, and a dinosaur essentially causes their boat to capsize. They put out a mayday over the fucking CB radio world, and Mahershala's like, we got to go save them. We're like an hour away. This is our right to do it. And so they bring this family along the journey to go get the blood from the island. But of course, before they get there, their boat capsizes, and the family and then the mercenaries are split up. And it's like, all right, well, we know where we're going to meet one another on this place. And it's about surviving the dangers and seeing the beauty of the park. Let me tell you, before I give you my take, I want to tell you the best tweet that I saw. The film critic Richard Roper tweeted perfectly on June 30th. Jurassic World Rebirth should have used a condom. And I don't disagree with that. Oh, boy.
And no, as soon as you took the breath, I was like,
Yeah.
Let's have it, baby.
This could have been good.
God.
And it started off promising. It started off I'd like to think it could have, but it kind of felt like Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, and recruiting a team and having that banter. But then it just becomes we're on a boat, and we're just on a boat talking, and nothing's happening. And just
we're on a boat, and there's dinosaurs, but
it's not as good as the Lonely Island being on a boat. They at least have some fun, and they're flipping.
Scarlett Johansson's buns can't save this movie, man.
They couldn't. Nobody's good. But so they're not only getting dinosaur blood and whatnot, but it's dinosaurs who have been created and mutated and bullshit dinosaurs that don't exist. And our main bad dinosaur at the end of the movie kind of looks like a bad version of a rancor. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? No, screw this.
You know what? It should have been the bridge into the Star Wars universe. This is the birth of the first rancor, and then I probably would like it more. But sorry.
And then the dinosaurs aren't practical, so super CG. Some of them look okay, but most look like shit. And even our settings, an island, super CG heavy, and it's not great CG.
Oh, come on. Even the last one, they still went to fucking islands,
which they did go to an island, but they didn't take advantage of it enough. I will say, There is one nice, sweet little thing. Like the little girl who's on the family that gets capsized, she hates dinosaurs in the beginning, but when they get on the island, she meets a little dinosaur and feeds it kind of chocolate, and it kind of befriends her, and she becomes in love with it and kind of takes it with her, and it's adorable. That I loved. But I didn't love so much more of the movie. I will say the score is beautiful. There's some good cinematography, and the movie's good at building up tension, and there's some dramatic parts, and there's some good action. But for a movie where people are being ripped apart and tormented and killed by dinosaurs, there's no blood at all. And it's like, what? You're going to give me a brutal movie, but not give me brutal blood? Fuck
Which
you.
is hilarious because, let's be honest, the first 3 films that came out in the 90s
Yes.
had some of the biggest kids' toys. And they, like, I'll be honest, when the first Jurassic Park came out, I couldn't watch every scene. I got too scared at points. I'd have to look away from the screen. And then we come back, and it's hilarious that the modern version can't own up to the pedigree.
And it's funny.
So sad.
In the beginning of the movie, sorry, it's a spoiler, but not really a spoiler. There's like the island that they're working on a dinosaur, and there's like this one that has this like 3-part security to get through to go do your work. And there's this fucking guy who's eating a candy bar, and he just litters and throws it on the ground, but it gets sucked up into the air vent, causes this whole collapse of the system, and the dinosaur escapes and kills everybody. And it's like, that's not as cool as fucking Wayne Knight and its Barbasol can. Fuck you for trying.
Right. It's also like, how weak is your system that's all it took to make everything fail? It's like that's
billions of dollars thrown out the window because of a candy bar wrapper.
No, that's horrible. That's horrible.
And Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Ed Serkin, and other people, like I said, are mercenaries and badass and ready for anything. But they're not good at fighting these dinosaurs. They build them up like they're badasses. They're gonna do whatever it takes. But no, they can't. It's ridiculous.
Expect no less.
I was so let down. I had hoped really hard for this movie. I wanted to like it. I was so excited. This is the big 4th of July release, and I was sad that this is what we got on the 4th of July, man. I'm going to give Jurassic World Rebirth 2 slices of toast, and I feel like that's being very generous. I want to say 1.5. I didn't fully hate it. I'll never watch it again. I'll go back and rewatch the Bryce Dallas Howard Mario movie again, because that one held up. I like that one, man. Or just go watch Jurassic Park, because that's the good one, folks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's another one that we had on in the background the other day.
You can
keep rewatching it, and it's still great. It's, to me, Jurassic Park is the perfect balance of, you can't think too hard about the plot or logic, because there's wild plot holes in there. But it doesn't matter if you're in the scene and just commit, like, just give yourself to the drama happening in front of you, and it's still thrilling. The performance, the actors are great. I mean, that is such a great cast that we're never going to get that back. Even in the second and third one, it never feels the same again. But that beautiful blend of practical and digital effects.
So perfect.
That era, oh my God, that era of getting both of those things in the same movie, I'm going to miss that so much. I feel like, to me, Starship Troopers is the next closest of getting a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little less
but
intense, but it holds up.
The budget-friendly version.
Yes. They did the best they could with the budget they had. Practicality and CG for its time. Stunning. 100%. Yeah. I remember seeing both those movies in theaters as a kid, man, and loving them, and they still hold up.
Man. Well, sorry, Scarlett. Sorry, Mahershala. You guys are great.
Yeah.
But
and it's like, I will say, the actors are great. They're doing the best they can, but the script from a man who wrote the best movie in the whole franchise couldn't save. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate, I think. And I could be wrong. I don't know. Like I said, that was Richard Roper. I heard another critic on a podcast give a very similar review to Richard's one-liner. And I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how the audience, we're recording this Saturday. The movie just came out Thursday. So I'm intrigued to see how this does in the box office, how fans react opposed to other people reviewing it.
I don't know what I found is, as for every movie they make in this universe, the further we get away from the source material, which I'll be honest, I haven't read, although I was just looking at gifting valid audiobook version of the Jurassic Park novel, and I read the first couple chapters that were free, and I'm like, oh my god, I get why.
Now, when you say
this
read,
was
did you
made.
listen to?
No. I read the
Okay,
free
you
chapters.
actually read.
I read the first chapters, and then I went to listen to the free preview to see what the voice sounded like. And I hate.
Sorry,
I'm no disrespect to the narrator of that one, but it did not.
Yeah, narrator
I could
really
fall asleep
sells or ruins
It's
the book.
oh my god, that version. I think I gotta find a different one for her because she didn't like it. But the text, the verb, like I love that. I love this high sci-fi advancement of society sort of thing. And before it divulges into the story before you, I've read some highlights from the novels of like the book is way darker, way more violent,
Yeah,
way
that's what
bloodier than the movie. Like the whole compy reference in the beginning of the second film is actually from the first movie, where a mother finds a compy in the crib of her baby, eating her baby.
Ooh.
And that's just like, yeah, like the book is not afraid to dive into these it's a horror sci-fi story, which is what the original film did. The further we get away from that, the more diluted it gets, and I think the worse it ends up being. I don't want hand signals to raptors. I don't need Guardians of the Galaxy here to save the day. I want real people. I want to see, how am I getting thrown into this situation?
Give me a Sam Jackson. Give me a Wayne Knight. Give me two little
Sam
kids.
Neill. I want to see Sam. This guy digs up bones. He doesn't know how to fucking interact.
I will say there was a reference to Dr. Alan Grant, which I did appreciate.
Oh, nice.
So that's nice. But all right, one thing I forgot when you were talking, came to my mind again that I want to mention here. They briefly touch upon something that they touched upon in the opening of the last Jurassic World movie. Like I said, they show dinosaurs in the real world. They talked about how dinosaurs integrated in the real world in the last movie. I just want to see a movie of that. Give me what it's like. Give me that time period when dinosaurs were dangerous, not just nothing. People were mesmerized. Give me that. Don't just give me the spark notes. Give me a movie of that. That's what I want to see. Something interesting, something different. Jurassic World should be the world, not going to an island all the time or a theme park.
Val said the same thing when we walked out of the last movie. She's like, that's what I want to see. Yeah. I want to see that. Like, you see the fucking pterodactyl nest in like Manhattan. Like, that is
on the Empire State Building or some shit.
Oh yeah. I want to see that the blending together of those worlds. That would be a really cool movie. I get it. You don't want to just make Jurassic World 2 or Jurassic Park 2 again. Sure. Well, that's not what it is, because like you said, we're coexisting. So show how you've farmed or ranched trikes. You know, maybe it turns out their manure is like way better for farming food for people because of their eating habits. I don't know, whatever weird shit you want to invent. But those are pieces of something that I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen right before just throwing us right back on the islands and trying to create some convoluted story.
And it's always an island real attached to the original island, but slightly askewed. It's like, why not just go back to that actual island?
Stop it's not Isla Sorna. It's not Isla Nublar. It's this other Spanish named island you've never heard of. That's just, it's right over there. You can see it. See, there we are. Ooh. Yeah.
Now, I'm intrigued. You did say that you're going to be seeing this at the PGA. I want to hear your review, because maybe you disagree with me, but I would either way. Intrigued to see what you have to say.
Probably not, but but yeah, no, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. I'm hoping because of the crowd, there's no concessions. It's all industry people, so hopefully they're gonna stay off their fucking phones, even though that's not always true.
Dude, let me tell you, I'm hijacking for a second.
Please,
I told you how I went to this roadshow of this movie, Jimmy and Stiggs, this kind of little indie movie that comes out in August. It was like the first stop in the road trip. It was kind of a friends and family almost thing, because the director is from Rhode Island. It was at the Providence Place Mall, and I literally was in the back row. I watched. There was at least 3 or 4 people on their phones doing shit at essentially a friends and family premiere of a movie, and I'm like, if that's how it is for this, people just don't respect shit. Like,
No.
Come on, you know that the people making this movie are here. You're going to
Yeah.
disrespect them like that?
Agreed.
Fuck you. Sorry.
Yep.
It's
No,
just
no,
what
I'm
he
with
said
you.
at the PGA.
I went
thought.
to, well, it wasn't, technically it's not at the PGA. It's at, you know, the Harmony Gold in
Oh, yeah,
Hollywood.
where we had that
Yeah,
shitty
yeah.
festival at the school that we didn't get.
Oh, yeah. The film premiere of the set I worked on was there when Val and I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. The PGA screening was held there.
Hmm.
So same thing. When we saw Deadpool Wolverine, there was somebody who was on their phone for like the first 30 minutes before like 2 or 3 of us finally was just like, dude, I get it. You're probably working. Just go, just walk out.
Go up to the
You're
lobby.
literally,
Go to the bathroom.
it was someone sitting next to the aisle. I'm like, just go back there, handle your shit, and then come back. Surprising number of children. I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have high hopes, but I think that's the most ideal version is we've technically already paid to watch this movie.
I was about to say you're not really paying for it. You should
Right, yeah.
dues you're paying
And
time.
Free parking in Hollywood. How many people can say that?
That's a rarity right there.
That's its own gym. Maybe we just leave in the first 10 minutes and go get dinner and come back.
Yeah, go see F1 down the road and come back. About the same run time. One's good, one's bad. I don't know.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna do it
for
this is a mega size episode. Yeah. But I really enjoyed talking about all this shit with you. So hopefully the audience.
Me too, man. Yeah, never feels often enough. I do like I do like getting it all out there.
Right.
Appreciate your patience too. I apologize for stepping away earlier. I know that was
piece of shit.
Inconvenient timing, folks. I'm sorry. The reality of live things.
Right there. But you know what's not an inconvenient timing, Dennis?
What's that?
In December, we're having a little thing called the 5th annual Movie Toast, the festival. You got time to prepare for that, folks. It's free. It's on YouTube.
Adam, I almost submitted my own film.
Oh, Chris.
Yes.
I'm
sorry.
How'd you hijack Dennis's mic?
I don't know. I just wandered around the San Fernando Valley.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's hot out right now, isn't it? Wait, it's like midnight. What are you doing? Roman, that's dangerous at this time of night.
It's the time I like to find the park benches.
There's probably people sleeping on those benches at that time.
Exactly. That's where you find the ideal ones.
Do you interview?
Then they're good. No.
Are you?
I'm not gonna bother
right now.
Adam. I live in a bunker. The same bunker. My son. I raised my son.
You got a fridge down there now? Is the Dr. Pepper cool and chilled?
Until I microwave it, and it's hot. And that hot Dr. Pepper.
Well, we have you here.
Yes.
You have taken part a couple of times in the festival. You want to tell the audience how to enter if they got a short film or something, or just give them a rundown?
Oh, Adam, of course. You go to filmfreeway.com/movie toast the festival, and you submit your short film of 15 minutes or less of any genre. I don't care. They don't care. As long as it's good. You tell a story from the heart.
You're not wrong.
Something with meaning. I know you got it. But please submit as soon as you can at
Deadline's coming up.
filmfreeway.com/movie toast the festival. It's the 5th year. So, they kind of like it.
You're not wrong. We love it. But we don't have all the details yet, but the folks can get the details for it, and they can also see short films, short movie reviews or TV reviews or trailer reactions or news. You want to tell them how the audience can get involved with us?
Oh, Adam, of course. You go to any of the social media platforms that are popular right now. Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube. You just look with at @movie_toast, and you're gonna find some wonderful boys talking about movies. Mostly Adam, because He's the best.
But
He's
I
a
mean, Dennis
lovely
joins me
boy.
for the news section that we put out.
Oh,
He
he's
throws
all
out
right.
things every now and again.
I find his voice kind of grating.
Okay,
Adam,
all right, that's
I
weird.
like falling asleep listening to you, though.
I'm not gonna lie, this is creeping me out a bit, and I've never seen you and Dennis together. I don't know what the feud is. You guys gotta get over it.
Adam, hush.
All right,
You beautiful boy. Don't say those things. You're wonderful.
All right. Well, what else can the audience do for us, Mr. Walken?
Well, I think if you got something to say about the show, if you want to be honest, and I mean honest, leave a review over at Apple Podcasts. Whether it's 5 stars or something else you're thinking of, just let them know. They like to know what you think. They want to make that, as they say, the toast is golden delicious as the can. As you know, I don't get it. The bread
nobody
thing,
does.
But
Nobody does.
they like it, so I won't disappoint the boys. It's movie toast. Just let them know. Apple Podcasts.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Like you just apparently said you don't like Dennis's voice, which is weird.
No, I know I sound so much like him doing a really bad impression of me.
Shocked,
but
it's almost like I don't know. It's weird.
I can't put my finger on
anything you want to promote while you're here, I guess, before Dennis comes back and we wrap this show up.
Simply here to promote Movie Toast, and if you're looking for a new podcast, I review park benches that I like to sit on, but I look at them at night because the comfy ones are slept on.
And I assume if you go out in the day, people are going to mob you because you're Christopher Walken and you get no job done.
No.
Yeah.
They asked me about that Fat Boy Slim music video I was in.
That was a classic.
Everyone just keeps asking me, how did
do they ask you to do the dance?
I just fly past them. I'm over it.
Oh, that's a shame.
That was a joke, Adam.
Oh,
flying.
I get it.
Over the head.
You did some stuff off of balcony. That was
that's enough. All right, I gotta go.
All right, well
I see a bench.
Just a question: how many episodes do you have of Walking in the Park, and where can the fans find it?
You can find it on an obscure server, only available in Ireland. Only the Irish fans. For some reason, they stopped listening to your show. I kept telling them.
Did you sail them away?
No, I kept telling them, keep going, keep listening. But I guess they just weren't having it. They want to hear about the park benches in America.
But why don't you let everyone across the globe listen to your podcast? It sounds like most people, I don't know, you talk about, where have you gone? What parks, like all around the world? Or are they just in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles?
Newberry Park. There's a nice park in Burbank. Reseda Park.
Do you leave
I don't recommend.
Oh.
I mean, apparently I live in New York, but I only review.
Yeah.
I only
you okay,
review.
Mr. Walken?
I'm struggling.
I can tell
I need to go
for some time now.
I think I need to
go.
Well,
I think Dennis is coming. I appreciate you coming on. Your support, we always respect.
Adam, I love you.
We got to get you here with Dennis sometime, bud.
Someday, but I don't like him.
Well,
Till then.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
All right.
Jesus Christ. That fucker.
Oh, Dennis, where were you, bud? Did you take a pee again?
No, I just can't stand. I can't stand to be in the same fucking room. Just
the
arrogance.
I don't understand. Why do you keep letting Christopher Walken into your house around your microphone?
It's just I'm tired of him eating all the fucking beef jerky in the just in the entire house and then every other place. I can't replace what he's eaten. It's just obnoxious. That's the tip of the iceberg. But I'm not going to buy his I don't want to disparage. I don't want to disparage Mr. Walken anymore than I already have over the years. But
fair enough. I don't get your beef with him, but I guess
he has all the beef, so I don't know. I guess so. That's how it goes.
Well, show that you don't hate Mr. Walken. What can he and the audience do if they don't want to do any of the stuff he was just promoting?
Oh, fuck. All right, he's coming back in.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Adam.
Yeah.
If there's Oh, is you're asking what to do? Or
Yeah, say they don't want to go check out our
Oh.
socials. They don't want to submit their film. They don't want to review us. They don't want to listen to Walking in the Park because they don't live in Ireland. What should they do?
first, I would say that's too bad and you kind of suck. But next,
Fair
I
enough.
would say, please, if you got nothing else to do, then at least stay toasty.
Thank you, Miss Walken. Thank you, audience. We hope you had a decent time listening to this No, play the
I'm
soundtrack.
sorry.
We're out of here.
I got
We're outta here,
excited.
DJ. Nope, fuck off.
Reviewing new movies, they keep it real. Coast to coast, from LA to the east. On the podcast show, they feast on the beast. Adam's bringing knowledge like he's Professor X. Dennis with cuts deeper than Wolverine's claws. I guess Marvel, DC, they know them all by heart. Breaking down the plot, tearing every scene apart. They got the juice like Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. Breaking down movies with a sharp precision. Adam coming in hot like a John Wick hit. Dennis bringing the heat like the climax of a Tarzan flick.
Yeah, didn't know when
All
to tell him to
right.
leave. Given the length of the episode, I felt both encouraged and
Yeah,
I
like to
I'm sorry.
apologize. I wasn't telling the audience to fuck off. I was telling him to fuck off, man.
Of course.
because
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what was
Just
going
fuck that
on
guy.
there.
We don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand. He just.
I
gets
mean, I
thrown
like
out
him. I
on the spot.
respect him. I appreciate him, but I just know this
Fair
podcast
enough.
is running
Fair
long.
enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know normally we talk about random things here, but as you know, Warner Brothers is kind enough to send out DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, and they've been sending some cool stuff. Like I got all the regular show. I got Succession, the Drew Carey show recently, but I got something that I think you're gonna dig, man. On July 8th, they're coming out with Fallout Season 1 4K
Ooh.
heavy duty steelbook. It's kind of sexy looking.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Nice.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
It
God
comes
damn.
along with some little art prints here. Like we got, I guess not really postcards,
Oh,
but some cool
that's
stuff.
sick, though. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then
captured the
so it comes
tone
with the
of,
whole
like,
bunch.
the advertising very well. That looks so
Yeah.
good.
And
Oh, dang,
tons of
nice.
special features. So you got commentary tracks, animated content, becoming the ghoul,
Oh, damn.
counsel to the camera, creating the wastelands inside season 1, meet the filmmaker, prosthetic makeup, safe and sound, set your sets on 2029. The
sick.
costumes of Fallout, welcome to the world of Fallout. You're getting all the episodes, all that bonus stuff. And like I said, it's coming out on July 8th. It's going to be $34.95 over on Amazon or wherever you get your DVDs
That's a
and
great
Blu-rays.
price.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
A fantastic
Nice.
show. Just enough time to get it before the new season starts up in December. And yeah, I highly suggest if you haven't seen the show, grabbing this because, yeah, it's on Max now, but things get yanked from Max all the time. So,
And
wait, no, this is Amazon.
Amazon.
Sorry.
Yes. Amazon.
Things do get removed from Amazon.
They
So,
do.
I don't know.
This is, but it's nothing like watching it on a physical media where you
Physical.
don't have the lag and you get the highest definition, the highest fidelity you possibly can. So I totally
Yeah.
get that. I would totally see this show is worth investing into.
And
God, yeah.
And like I
Awesome.
said, they normally send out DVDs, but they sent a 4K Blu-ray. Like they sent the best of the best. You're getting the finest quality with these.
That's
folks.
sick. No, I gotta
highly
admit, I'm a little
suggest
jealous. I think I'm gonna have to pick this one up when it releases.
I
That sounds
I was
awesome.
hoping it would come with a digital download and I could send this over. And I'm like, God damn it! When we see each other in person, I'll give you these cool little cards because I don't know what to do with them.
Oh,
But, yeah.
that's cool though. That's a great collection. I for the hardcore Fallout fan would highly recommend. That is a great route to go. They've done, if you haven't seen the show yet and you love Fallout, they did the show the property justice. I can't imagine it being any better than it is. So please
Yeah,
check
and
it out.
it's 3 discs.
Oh, what's the inside of the disc
Yeah,
holder?
that's what I'm
The
getting
Vault-
here, folks.
Yeah.
So we got the Vault Industries, we got the fucking
Oh,
Pit Boy
beautiful.
guy. Yeah, man. And like I said, you got the sexy fucking cover art and whatnots. It's how do you not get that, folks? If you're a fan of the game,
That
the
is
show.
a tiny drop in a big old bucket of drugs.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So please do our friends over at Warner Brothers Discovery a favor and pick up one of these for $36.
Yeah,
You're not gonna
these days, that's a steal. That's great.
man. And it's the runtime of the of all 3 discs, 475 minutes. So you got, like I said, yeah, you can watch this on Amazon, but you're not getting all that bonus stuff or these sweet cards. So,
No, that's great. There's definitely a lot of the background. I liked watching some of Walton Goggins' Instagram of seeing snippets of that process, but to really get into
watching
the
him rip
detail
off
of
the stuff,
the hours of the application, just incredible. The commitment alone. Let's be honest. How many of you guys would be willing to sit there for that long, have a bunch of shit stuck to your face, have to do
and like
your
I said,
job?
you have a whole special feature becoming the Ghoul just for that. But
So
there's
cool.
also another special feature called Prosthetics and Makeup Gone Nuclear. So you get to see all that and so much more, folks.
Come on,
Not
you film nerds.
Oh man. So yeah, that's my plug for the episode, folks. What do you got, man? Anything we didn't hit upon that you're interested? Any news? Anything you're looking forward to seeing?
I would say rest in peace, Michael Madsen. It's unfortunate that along with several other actors, I know I apologize, I can't think of the actor's name right now, that played Admiral Piet in the Star Wars films. He's the
just recently
to reappear in 2 of the original Star Wars films, playing the same character, the same Imperial officer, which I know doesn't sound like for us Star Wars nerds, it is a big deal. So Admiral Piet was a cutthroat, cold-blooded naval officer that definitely was portrayed very, very well by that actor. And although he didn't do a lot of live fan interaction, when he did, he was incredibly appreciative of the fan reaction. And then go back to Michael Madsen. I mean, the man had such an incredible career spanning over films, and everyone who's like every director who's worked with him has said he brings a richness to the screen. He has that X factor that so few people truly have, that when they really kick it on, you can really appreciate.
And I hear he's essentially who you think he is. Like, he has the bottle of alcohol with him. He's that guy that's laid back and tell you all the stories. Or would.
Yeah. Oh man, it's
a big loss.
We've lost some legends, and I would like to, for those those we haven't mentioned. I know there was more. I just saw the composer of the original X-Files score. We just lost him too.
That classic song that you can't get out of your ear.
Yeah, you know exactly that thing you're hearing right now in your head. It's just,
and if our editor's paying attention, he can put it in the background and you'll hear it.
Oh yeah,
as we talk. Oh man,
sorry, Fox.
But yeah,
but yes, please.
Now I'm
please
thinking of the Goosebumps
those
song.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Not as good, but yeah.
Please remember those we've lost in the wonderful world of film. Remember them fondly, and give them a watch again. Go back and dig up a flick or 2 that they appeared in. And until next time, though, Toasties, thanks for joining us. And we'll be happy to see you here again next time.
For sure. Please stay toasty, folks.